How's it going, friends and family of the internet? Welcome to the Real AF TV podcast, show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. I'm one of your hosts, Josh LaBaw.
And I'm Tim Wagner, getting zapped by time. I was like, I'm just looking through. The random take is going to make more sense when I'm just going through here. But then all of a sudden it was time, and then I don't know what I did. I made like a fish face or something. I don't know.
Something like that. Oh, and there goes my weird palm on this side too.
That one almost sounded like the clown horn. We just come in making faces at honka honka.
Welcome to Hot Farts and Beer fucking morning show on the radio.
Yeah.
You're on Hot 95.
Thanks for tuning in for the fart hour.
That's what episode 100 is going to be. Tune in.
That's it. Tune in and tune out. Tune up.
Yeah, dude.
97.4 hot farts.
Oh, you'll never believe what I ate last night.
Was it beans? I was thinking like a slide whistle fart.
Yeah.
Gotta ask A5 for one of those. I suppose that would be like a trombone, huh? I say slide whistle fart. That's totally a trombone.
That's a trombone. You're right. It is. It's just a trombone. Did you also say you have to ask AFI for that? That's what I heard you say.
Hey, no, not AFI. Aries, my okay. Break my fart. No, I did not say that. I was saying I had to ask AI for a slide whistle fart. And then immediately I was just like, that's a trombone. Sorry, AI, for wasting your time.
For wasting your time. Oh, shit. Well, we do have an AI fishing topic coming up, so hang in there, everybody. And then we're going to talk trading cards in the second half. But, Tim, let's do what we do over here on the Real AF TV podcast.
Yeah, I was trying to hit it.
Fishing news. Kick it off with the fishing news. I got a local one. So if you're from outside Minnesota, that's okay. Because this actually goes all the way down the Mississippi. Hey, I got a message for all you carp out there.
Yeah.
We're coming for you.
Yeah.
Brother.
You're going to get it. Damn ass carp. Damn ass.
Damn ass carp.
Damn ass carp.
I saw an outtake of Booker T one time, and he was in like full hood mode.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that one?
About.
Where he's talking to Hulk Hogan?
And he drops the N-word and has to like stop. Listen. It starts yelling and stuff. Yep. We're coming for you. And then he drops the N-word.
Yep.
And then he immediately like puts his hand on his face and looks down. Like, you can see that he's
oh, like, shit, dude.
I'm not supposed to say that. That's just like swearing, basically.
Right?
Live television.
Yep. Oh, it's so good. Oh, one of my favorites.
Yeah. I love the promos are definitely the best part of wrestling.
Oh.
And I miss Macho Man so much.
Oh, dude, I know.
Nobody does anything like him because he used to get like he did stuff backwards. And it would crack me up so hard. Like everybody else would try
like
to like
Yoda backwards?
What kind of? He would like get the other ones would get like amped up and hit the different notes like where they should, and like at the like I'm coming for you, you know, and they'd hit that. Yeah. And somebody like he would still do some of that stuff too, but he would hit like the most excited his voice would get sometimes would be on the word that didn't mean anything. where he'd just be like, Mean Gene would come up and ask him, and he'd just like, yeah, yeah, listen, Mean Gene, tonight we're gonna go up there, we're gonna show him something, and we're gonna give him a show. He just like the and is the like where he puts the you're like
he did. Oh, that's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
He did.
You had no idea what he's talking about, and he'd be like freestyling stuff. There's that one where he keeps pulling out. It's like almost like a magic trick. He keeps pulling out little like coffee creamers.
What?
And he's like, he keeps. You gotta Google it sometime because he's sitting there and he's talking to Mean Gene. And he's like, Mean Gene, the cream will rise to the top, and he's got the creamer and he pulls it out. He
just picked up from the Waffle House that he was at last night.
But he's got like multiple of them because he'll take them and then he'll just go, yeah. And he just like kind of drops them as he's talking. And then he's like, yeah. And then he just like pulls it up and he's just like, I'm the cream of the crop. And he's got another one. He'll drop it. He pulls out another one. He puts it on his head and he tries to balance with it and it falls off. He goes, on balance, off balance. I'm better than you. He's talking to the one guy.
Yes. Oh my
just
God.
Going off, spinning around, moving. Always just he was the most kept doing this thing, moving his hands. Yeah. Yeah.
You have a great Macho Man impression, physically and so yeah. If you're missing the video, you're missing out.
Oh, it's good shit. I love it so much.
I know. I think that's probably something that made me actually like come back around to wrestling because, like, you know, you go through the phase of like you're a kid and you're watching, you're like, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen, and then you realize it's fake, and then you're like, wait a minute, this might be the coolest acting job ever. They're improv actors, stuntmen, stuntmen.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's like it's so sick, dude.
Yeah, he's and like I know that they apparently like test for like performance enhancing drugs and stuff.
Oh, do they? I didn't know that.
I heard that they do some like that's what they talk about. I don't think they do. You look at most of those guys like, what the fuck? It's just a show,
right?
They act like they do, but they're not real athletes. It's not like, are you able to perform better? Like that's a benefit for us. We know who's going to win anyways. You know, it's not
right.
But I've heard that they do that stuff. But they for sure were not testing him for cocaine back then because he was definitely on.
That guy was on coke all the time.
There's a couple of interviews where he has it with his sunglasses off and his eyes are just like bulging. And he's like, coming for you, Mean Gene. Or like, he's not Mean Gene, but he's talking to the other people, but he keeps saying Mean Gene's. And there's the one where he literally like seems to lose track of thought in the middle of the interview. Uh-huh. And he ends it like he kind of like turns and all of a sudden he just like pauses for a second and moves back and he goes, oh, wow, freak out. And just walks off camera.
Yeah. I've seen that one. That's so
good. Like, I think that's drugs where he's like trying to do a promo and all of a sudden he's like, what am I seeing here? And he's like, oh, fuck, just get off camera.
Shit, dude, I'm having a freak out moment. I gotta go.
Oh, wow, freak out. This got in a little bit too deep. He's like, I gotta do a promo. Give me that $2 grand. Oh. Gets on there. And he's just like, yeah. The match, they're talking about the match happening later tonight. He's just like dripping in sweat.
Yeah, already.
You got like 4 hours till you wrestle. What you been doing?
Oh my God. That was just my headline. It has nothing to do with the fishing news, but I was in on it, dude.
Yeah. I went off. I don't even know how we got here.
Because I said, we're coming for you, Carp.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And we just
Carp.
went off on a little wrestling tangent.
You can swim, but you can't hide, bitch.
I'm gonna timestamp that bitch. Okay, back to the fishing news. Or no, actually to the fishing news, but I'm gonna leave that in there. Of course I am. Okay, so I got a local one here from Care 11 over there near the Minneapolis area, in the Twin Cities area, as we call it from here. Heidi Wigdahl wrote this one up. I've been seeing it around the local news rotation, but I actually got it from Care 11. Remember, if you're listening to this on podcast, go over to YouTube. It's in the video description. You can click on it, give Care 11 the quick read. But here's what it is. Legislature passed a $12 million investment to create an invasive carp deterrent system on the Mississippi River at Lock and Dam 5. That's near Winona, Minnesota. And Winona's down in the southern-ish area of Minnesota. So, yeah, pretty cool. They got 12 mil to create some carp deterrents down in the Mississippi, because not too far from Lock and Dam 5 near Winona, Minnesota, they've been spotting some carp, the invasive type. So
nice.
You can put some shit in place. Yeah,
I'm glad that they're putting in some money. I did laugh to myself when you said a deterrent. Because after all that wrestling talk, like it just sounded like more like we're not doing anything to stop. We're just trying to like scare them away. You just got like the
yes.
Don't even think about
it. Maybe that's how I got to my headline. Maybe that is subliminally that's kind of what I read. And that's great.
They just got wrestlers on
on Lock and Dam 5.
Yeah, right on the riverbanks, just all of them looking at, pointing down. I'll give you the elbow. I'm coming from the top rope. And
yes. Okay, so the money came from the Outdoor Heritage Fund, which I was like, oh, so this is like kind of like donated money that it. I mean, I don't know what the Outdoor Heritage. Let's just say if this was a full topic, I would have looked it up. But
yeah, sure.
This is the news, so I'm just kind of reading the article, giving to people, So the money came from the Outdoor Heritage Fund. One of the cool things that I pulled out of the article was they're using knowledge of what has worked downstream already. And that's why I said this goes all the way down the Mississippi, because these carps have been working their way up. We've all seen those videos of those fucking kick-ass dudes in their armor skiing behind boats and stabbing carp that just come out of the water because they have that like kick-ass like dagger armor on.
Yeah. I just saw one where they I think it was like a modified like a tube or something where they had like the kids stand up on it. But they were they titled it as like what you get when you're like homeschooling your kids or whatever. And then it's like a dad is like pulling and it's like a bunch of kids and they're like huddled behind and they just barely have their like weapon out to hit the fish, but they're all like in there just like there's like 3 of them together all at the same time and they're just towing them down and trying to catch the fish.
just 3 kids with daggers above the.
Yeah, I don't think they had daggers. I think it was a little bit safer than that. I think it was like nets, and I don't know what else they had, but it was wild where they're just kind of like ducking. Like that still doesn't feel good. They had pads and stuff on, but those are bigger. They're not small fish.
No,
and if you're moving at 30 miles an hour and they jump towards you, like that's a collision.
Right.
Like, could you imagine? Like if somebody beans you with a baseball,
right,
at like not a super fast pitch, but say the combined speeds of both, you get hit by a baseball at 50 miles an hour. You're like, damn, dude, that stung. You got to walk that off.
Hurt. Yeah.
That baseball is like 5 ounces.
Right.
Now you get hit with like a 15-pound fish.
Yeah,
that
dude.
that would not
That
feel
would
good.
fucking suck.
I'm just watching those kids. I'm like, God damn, I hope one of those doesn't connect. That's not, for those kids' sake.
For real, dude.
Oh man.
Yeah, and
But
that's the cool thing is they're using the knowledge because those fish, they're the silver carp, those jumpy bastards. Those are the ones that are down the river, Mississippi. So they're using some knowledge that the other people further south than us have already had to use and deal with and shit.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, because they definitely, I mean, there's definitely been enough studies on like, it seems that they jump more when you drive past them and spook them. So I'm sure they're using knowledge of like, if we can scare them, we get them to move. If we get them to move, they can run straight into our trap. We'll put them in the turnbuckle.
Yeah, no, you make a good point, or you make a perfect connection. A segue is they have this thing. They have a sound deterrent. I was like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
Sound deterrent. That's cool. Yeah, because you got to think those things are running away from the boat sound.
Yeah.
Oh, and also it's not just the silver carp. It's silver carp, big head carp, and grass carp. I don't know what the fuck grass carp is. I'm pretty sure I know what a big head carp is.
There is all the same shit.
They're all
it's like
same. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like different sizes and stuff. For carp, it's a lot like how sunfish technically have like a shit ton of different species.
Yeah, there's like the bluegill,
like
the pumpkin
every
seed,
time you
sunny.
catch them, it's like, this thing looks a little bit different and its mouth's a little bit bigger, I guess.
Right.
But it's all the same shit.
Yeah. It's all the same shit. Except for these silver ones are particularly jumpy bastards.
Yes. Oh, and I should say some of them do have dumber eyes. They got dumb eye placement. They look stupid.
They just look stupid. Their eyes are just fucked up.
They're just dumb. They're not placed like the other carps are like just better looking. Like their eyes are placed more proper, and these ones, their eyes are like placed further down, just on their head. Like I don't know if you know. I think his name is General Agbar from Star Wars.
Okay.
Got like an alien with this dumb head comes and eyes are down here. And he's supposed to be a doctor and you just can't take him seriously. Like, God, dude.
You can't. You can't. I don't know if that's his name, but I know exactly who you're talking about because every time you see that guy, you're like, what the fuck is with that? I can't look at him.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
We got to get him into surgery. Don't listen. He looks weird. Don't. We can't
trust him.
What are you talking about? Your eyes are all weird. I need a second opinion. Yeah, but those carps for sure. Their eyes are just like they're lower on their face. Like they're not up here. They're down here, and I don't know how to describe it, but
yeah,
you just have to go scare one and have it jump out of the water. Then you'll see. Like, oh, shit, I get it. Yeah, he's dumb looking.
So the sound deterrent they're going to use, they're planning on using, it's 50% effective. I'm like, oh well, damn, that's a lot of money to spend on something that's 50% effective. But then they're like, no, combo. This is what I'm talking about. We're using stuff we learned down. So they're talking about using the sound deterrent, which is, 50% effective. And you're like, well, yeah, I mean, that's good if you're combining it with something. Then they're going to use the air curtain. Sorry.
Oh.
And that's exactly what it sounds like. Just a bunch of bubbles. Like think about walking through a car wash.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, what?
Well,
damn.
Apparently, so I don't know if you've seen the Meg movies, which is like the Megalodon movies with Jason Statham. Yeah,
no, I haven't, but I know which ones you're talking about. Yeah,
they're shitty good fun. They're not good movies, but they're fun. They don't make any sense as far as like a fishing standpoint.
Sure.
The second the second movie, I think they touched on it in the first one too, but like the megalodons are like coming down from like underneath the thermocline, and they just buzz through, and they're just coming through the thermocline, acting like it's just like that's just a different temperature of water. It's not gonna hold them there. But like,
Right.
I guess like some like that, the air curtain, for whatever reason, some of the fish are stupid enough that they stay underneath. But the megalodon, you know,
It doesn't.
being dinosaurs, apparently can think. I don't know. But it's pretty stupid. It's a stupid movie, but it's fun.
Right.
But yeah, they're apparently that thermocline like keeps everything in their eyes, keeps everything lower. So I'm like, and when we talk about fishing in real life too, the thermocline does kind of keep them like where they want to be, or they'll keep them above the thermocline and stuff. Like they don't want to go below, but it doesn't. That doesn't stop them, but it
doesn't stop them from just crossing
but it is more of like a preference.
Sure.
But the ones that aren't scared by sound are probably dumb enough that they don't give a shit about the water or whatever the air current is either. You know, I don't know. They're doubling it up. I'm not shitting on their efforts.
No, I gotcha.
But you're probably not going to stop all of them.
No.
Because the dumb ones with their stupid eyes are going to be swimming, and they hear a noise and they're just like, oh, what was that? And then they just like swim through the air curtain, and they're just like, did you guys feel that? That was weird.
It's weird.
Then they just jump out at a passing boat, get stabbed.
Get stabbed.
I don't know. They're dumb fish. That's all there is to it. When they hear a noise, they jump out of the water because they think something is trying to get them in the water.
Right.
So they jump out and then they get smoked. Stupid fish. So like, yeah, there's you can't catch them all. But
yeah, they're not Pokemon after all.
Yeah, right. They're not. Even though they kind of look like a Pokemon because the dumb eyes.
Because the stupid eyes. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's cool that they're trying to do something about it, because those can definitely wreak havoc. Yeah.
And it sucks to hear that they're already like, this means, because Winona's southernish Minnesota, but if they're already seeing them near Winona, that means they're in Minnesota. They're in where it's not the St. Croix anymore, but where that where the Mississippi becomes the Wisconsin. Where the Mississippi becomes the Wisconsin Minnesota border down there. Yep. So that means these fucking carp are already here in Minnesota, but trying to keep them down. It's like, God damn.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah. Oh, they're not just putting in deterrence though too. That's sort of like the that's the main effort, but some of that money is also going towards trapping and additional research. So, this is the start of it, but with some of that money, the research, who knows, things could change. And then they're also going to give it to some trapping money. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. You would think that they'd be able to, spread some of that money around. That's a decent chunk of change.
Yeah. That's some good money.
I don't know what kind of speakers you're out there buying, but 12 million. I know you got to get some stuff that can withstand the test of time. So then you start talking about, getting some really high quality metals and stuff that people don't think about,
Yeah.
You got to make sure that this is going to be able to handle long time. Like, which is a good segue. Here, I'm coming in with fucking fishing news. The Temu fishing rod and reel setup. I bought, where it was just like, everything seems good. I used it. It did seem good. And we talked about this on I forget which episode it was, where we were talking about the fishing rods and where you're talking about strength and stuff. And that's where some of the money comes in. So this rod felt really light and it was working nice and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm really impressed by this. But that strength part comes into play. When my nephew went fishing with it, because I had it set up for a bobber, because that was the one that my wife used.
Uh-huh.
and he had his rig set up with something else. So he just wanted to go bobber fish off the dock. So he grabbed her rod.
Okay.
And then after he was done, he went to like pull the line down to like hook it into the eyelet.
Yeah.
And he
Okay.
didn't even put that much pressure on the top, and the like top foot just snapped off.
Oh.
It's just like, all right, well, there's that experiment. I didn't spend that much money on it.
Right. You even said
And-
that when you bought it. Like, hey, this is an experiment. It looks cool. Like,
Yeah, it looks
kinda
good.
went
My
with
wife
that.
doesn't really care too much, but like if that would have happened when we were trying to fight a fish, I would have been like, piece of shit. But
right.
it happened when he was just trying to like after he was done trying to catch sunfish or
Yeah,
whatever,
just trying to
so-
secure the hook and
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah. So that thing snapped, and yeah, I guess definitely you get what you pay for in that one. Like if you're gonna talk lightweight, a lot of times it's not strong unless you're paying more money, because you have to heat it up to a certain point to achieve the different fibers and stuff that they have in there that make it light and strong at the same time.
Right.
You know, so you can buy cheaper rods that are not bad, but the weight, you're going to feel it. This one was lightweight and it was cheap. And I kind of forgot about that part. I'm like, I'm impressed. And then snap. Oh yeah. The strength part. I forgot. Yeah, that's that
Shit.
thing that we were missing here. And then the rod too, or the reel too. This is the other reel that I bought off of Temu that I have just for an example. I don't know anything about this one. This one was I was intoxicated, and then 2 reels came in the mail. So I'm like, oh shit, I guess I bought a second one. But this part of the reel, this one feels like it's all foam.
Yeah.
But that
The, like,
other
grip
one
part?
is, yeah, the other one is that, I forget how you say it, because it's that like Chinese brand. It's like Sojulang or something like that.
Okay.
And it's a cool looking reel. And this foam, like the handle grip, is actually like a rubber coating, and it's got its symbol. It looks like 2 S's, and it looks really cool. I was like, damn, dude, I'm impressed how this looks. We haven't used that much at all, and the rubber is like coming off, exposing the foam that's underneath it. It's like a foam coating that they put over the foam, or
some
rubber
rubber.
coating that
They
they
dip
put
the
over the
foam in
foam.
some rubber real quick, and it.
Yeah, and then must have had like a stamp that they're just like, psh, and it looks like it's nice, like rubber piece, and then you're like, oh, it just wore off like nothing. Like we barely used it. It hasn't even made it through a season, and it's my wife's rod that doesn't get used very often. So to have it go to shit that fast hasn't been used that much. So just be aware of that, because I know we did like I didn't really endorse it, but I was like,
No.
pretty cheap. I guess I'm kind of impressed. I can't really talk shit. And it was like, well, we just gave it that endorsement, or not endorsement, but glowing review too early, because now I
wouldn't
can
even
just
say
be like,
that, but like, you were visually impressed by it. Yeah.
hey, remember when I was like, not that bad? Turns out it's pretty fucking bad.
Yeah. And that's a perfect, you know what? I'm going to save that for, I'm going to write that down for the AI fishing thing, and like the cost, versus reality.
Yeah.
I'm just going to save it for the fishing topic.
All right.
Yeah. There's a reason why I'm going to save it for the fishing topic, is just because of the way I want to push it into the fishing topic. Remember, if this is a every other week podcast. And I want to push that part into the fishing topic. This part's for everybody who's hanging in there for the long haul. Appreciate you. So yeah, just let me do housekeeping really quick, where, hey, every other week we release on Mondays. We got a break coming up on episode 100. There is no more Patreon right now because we're taking a break for, we don't know how long. I'm having a kid and it's happening soon. You want to hear all of it? Just go to episode 95. But in the off week, on the Wednesdays and Fridays, we cut all this extra stuff out. So if you're trying to share this with a friend and you're like, just go try, go try a fishing topic, because on Wednesdays and Fridays, they split this up, or go try a random take because it's shorter, and then come in for the long haul. It's over there on realaf.tv. You can find the link to our YouTube channel, which is at RealAFTV. Remember, real like fish and reel, and all that shit is there. Now, Tim,
Yep.
let's jump in to the fishing topic. Okay, so what you were talking about was your inexpensive Temu finds in earlier in the fishing news, right?
Yep.
So if you're getting this on Wednesday, hey, go check it out. He has more to say.
Yeah.
Now, the topic is, I put in a prompt into AI. A couple different AIs, right?
Yep.
And it's about largemouth bass fishing, because that's where you've spent a lot of your adult time fishing.
For sure.
So we're going to go over these AI prompts and we're going to just chat it out. So essentially we're talking about how to fish largemouth bass, which in a way we've done, but that's really what the topic is. But this is like AI compared to real world experience, and how is the AI doing, right?
Yes. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, me too. So that's why I want to do, because we've talked about doing the full AI episode where we just don't, like, I just have AI write it. We don't say anything until the next episode. And I was like, wait a minute. I got an idea. And this is where that's how this idea sort of came about. But what I wanted to talk about because we've talked about it so much, and I think that's going to come up. I know that's going to come up a lot in this topic of fishing for largemouth. We're going to say, we've said that a lot. Listen to the backlog. If you're new, this is, something that we've said a lot in the past. And that's why I wanted to bring this up about the Temu purchases that you were talking about, and how it's like, initially it looks good, feels good, and then you get it out just a few times and you're like, God damn piece of shit.
Yeah, it didn't take long to just be like, oh my God, dude, it's breaking like
right. And that's the reason why I wanted to bring that up, is because AI is like the shortcut. AI is the like instant feedback. It's the like, the prompt was, give me tips how to catch largemouth bass.
Yeah.
And so I hit up a couple chatbots and got answers, and it's the instant answer. It's the instant feedback, and it's the like TikTok of feedback. And I'm thinking to myself, if we would have made a short about the Temu, because you said I gave it a glowing review, and I'm like, well, I don't think you really reviewed it.
Yeah, I don't.
But if we would have made a short about it, Tim, if we would have made a TikTok, if we would have had that short form video, it would have sounded pretty fucking awesome. And now you actually get the long form out of it, and you're like, these things are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the downfalls of the internet right now, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, because I totally get that, because your AI is taking a sample. It's not like fact checking. It's taking from what it finds.
Right.
And it's like scouring the whole internet.
Right.
And like you were pointing out, that before I made the correction, it could have heard me being like, it's actually not that bad.
Right.
And then, AI is just like, hey guys, it's not that bad.
If you're looking for some affordable gear, try Temu.
Yeah. Why is this?
And now you're kind of like,
sorry. Yeah.
Maybe not.
No, maybe not. But AI is still like, I don't know. It's out there.
Right.
It's one of the things I found.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the benefits to like hanging on for the ride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's take the people on a ride, Tim. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
The other thing is, I've been thinking about too, that here in these last few episodes, I feel like we've been lacking a little bit of our original idea of like trying to teach people about fishing and tell people like come fish. Like, I hope you're finding this and you're not that into fishing, and the Real AFTV podcast is your way in, because you saw us talking about pro wrestling and you're like, wait, these guys talk about fishing too? I'm bike
Right.
curious. I'm going to go check it out.
Yeah.
You know, and then we kind of can get you into fishing. And so that was why I also did this prompt, because it's going to be it's going to just kind of, we're going to get into like, how do you fish for largemouth bass?
Yeah.
Maybe it'll end up being the title, but I think AI's got to be in there, because otherwise, you know, the AI's not going to like the topic that much.
Right. Yeah, we got to let it know. Pay attention.
Yep.
AI. Psst, hey, over here.
Exactly. So this is how it started. This is how one AI started. Okay. This is not a tip. Yeah. It was being fancy. It goes, the elusive largemouth bass, the underwater ninja that keeps anglers on their toes. Ooh, let's dive right into those tips so you can reel in those big ones.
Nice. Hell yeah, that underwater ninja. I like that. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody call a bass an underwater ninja.
Right. It's like you just made it up, dude. I'm pretty sure just made that shit up. I've never heard.
Dude, is this like underwater ninja? I mean, are designers going to be a thing of the past too? Because you tell it something like that and then it says underwater ninja.
Yeah.
And then you go, good one, AI. Now take underwater ninja and make me a shirt.
Yeah.
Make that bass an underwater ninja shirt.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you have a shirt that's branded the underwater ninja. Like, I shouldn't say designers as a whole, but like, you know, you just ask it one thing, it comes up with an idea.
Yeah.
But we are there to prompt it with the other stuff, you know? We're just the middleman and we go,
right,
give us what you got. And it gives it, and then we go, yeah, we like that. Let's keep going on that path.
Right.
You know, I'm a person. I know what person likes. I'm people.
Right. I am people. I know what people like. To answer that question, yes, the size of a design team is going to get smaller or not grow, for sure.
Yeah.
Because the need for a Photoshop expert, in the sense of like a Photoshop manipulator, a Photoshop like person who is very good at combining images and manipulating existing images and stuff like that. Yeah, 100%. That is working its way out for sure, because you prompt the AI. Now, I will say this: so far, AI pretty shitty at it. In fact, if you go back to episode 97.
Oh yeah, where it just combines the two.
Dude, it has the funniest. Oh no, you're talking about the pro wrestling episode where that one?
I was thinking of the one where you like prompted like two animals together and it just like spliced two animals together in the middle, basically. Like, it didn't give you like like two animals that were mixed. Yeah. It was just like it was half of an animal, and then in the middle it just became
another half of an animal. Yeah. Yeah. It's total shit. Yeah. Like, that's not what I said when I meant combine a whale and a donkey. It just,
I could totally see that, where I'm just like, hey, make it a, like, in my mind, what ninja bass would probably be different than, I'm guessing that AI might prompt it where it just like looks like a ninja, completely arms and legs, and then it just has like a bass's head.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, oh, that's corny.
Yeah. And then you try to say like, okay, not exactly like that, because I don't want it to have like human arms and legs. And then it does the same fucking thing again. And you're like, oh, Jesus Christ. But it is true. Like, the need for like a Photoshop expert who combines things like that is going away. I don't know how people like Adobe, who are making a bunch of money off of Adobe stock photography, you know, because they have people on They have people on. It's literally called Adobe Stock, and they have photographers that contribute to Adobe Stock, and they get paid as people download them.
Yeah.
I don't know how they think Adobe Stock is going to continue to exist when you have Adobe Firefly that's an image creator, when you can just go fucking prompt it to say anything
Right.
and it'll just spit it out. I don't understand that, how it's gonna.
Yeah.
They both don't exist. They just don't.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the photographers are much better. Let me get that clear. The pro
for sure.
photographers are much better. Like Getty Images still has a long tail on it. The stock images for those mid to higher, those like high, low level, mid to low highs, those graphic departments, they're going to continue to buy stock photography because humans are out there in the real world getting real photos.
Sure.
Anybody under that, fuck that. I'm generating that shit for free.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but depending on like what you, it's like what we're gonna be dealing with in the future too is definitely gonna be better than what it is now. So what you just said, so what you just said, depending on when somebody hears this, it might be a completely different story where we're just like, oh no, it'll get better. But yeah, like I've already witnessed it get better. Like I've seen pictures of like faces that it's shown, and you're like, that skin doesn't look right. There's something wrong with those eyes. And now like I've seen pictures where it's like that is almost perfect, and you can't even put your finger on it. You're like, I don't know even what is off, but I can tell it's fake.
Right.
But I don't know why.
Right. Yep.
It just has to figure out what that one thing is that has it just still looking a little bit fake. Yeah. Because when I study the photo, I'm like, I can't even tell you what it is about this that makes me know that it's not real. But it still kind of feels
like a mannequin, like just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I can tell it's fake. Yeah. But I don't know why.
Yeah. It's fucking weird. Yeah. On that note, here's how an AI will teach you how to fish. Ooh, and also ready. After I asked it, I said, hey, okay, these are great tips. Anything else that you'd like to share? And it did this.
Even without a human body, I can outfish your ass.
Suck it, nerd. No, you can't.
I was like, whoa, what? That was aggressive.
Yeah. You want to fight, computer? God dang, dude.
Yeah. What do you this was, but my first question about the prompt was, it says the elusive largemouth bass. Now, I don't feel that way. I'm not a bass fisherman like you are, but I don't know. The word elusive seems a little extreme for a largemouth bass.
Damn sure not elusive. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Elusive is the wrong word for sure. Yeah. Abundant. The reason it's the number one sport fish in America is not because it's hard to find.
Right.
It's because anybody can catch it. But you got to be good to catch big ones consistently. You got to find them.
Right.
Like when it comes to a tournament, regardless of what the day gives you, you need to go find the biggest fish to beat everybody else. So that's why it becomes a competition, because everybody can go and catch one. It's not hard, especially if you're not using artificial bait.
Oh, sure.
If you take a bobber and a live minnow and cast it out where there's a bass, I don't know if I've ever, besides like when they're spawning and stuff, if you were to, I mean, like if it was a fish that just got caught, or it was something that got spooked, so for some reason it's not there. But if you came up on a bass and you tossed out a live minnow in front of it, it's gonna eat it. Like there's a very small fraction of like reasons why it won't eat that minnow. But any other time, I mean, literally 99% of the time that you put a live minnow in front of a bass, it's going to eat it.
Yeah. Right.
You can do that with other fish, and it might just look at it and swim away, or just like feign interest. It doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
But the bass will eat it.
Yeah.
And there's so many of them too, and they're not they're not hard to find. It's not like walleyes where you got to go out into deep water and you got to have electronics to know where you're at in the lake. A bass, you just go find some like weeds in shallow water. Go find a dock. Go find structure. They hang around structure. It's not hard. You just go find a thing that looks different in the water, and the bass is thinking the same thing. That's not the same. I'm going to go hang around that thing.
Yeah. So what do you think about this? Okay, so habitat matters. That's the like bullet point. And then it goes on to say, bass are picky about their real estate, both largemouth and smallmouth bass, which, by the way, I only asked it how to fish for largemouth bass. So this AI's getting fancy. Both largemouth and smallmouth bass appreciate cold, clear waters. It's like they are sipping artisanal water from a crystal goblet. Look for the spots with good visibility, places where they can stalk prey. Sorry, I'm just running out of breath. That's so weird. Okay. Look for spots with good visibility, places where they can stalk prey without needing night vision goggles. This is the weirdest fucking paragraph. It goes, it's like they're sipping artisanal water from a crystal goblet.
That's what I always think. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You've thought that multiple times in your fishing.
Not weird to me. 100%. It's the first thing I say to anybody. They're just like, what, do you got any tips? I'm like, look for the artisanal water.
And the crystal goblet fucking cabinet, you know?
Yeah.
Now,
that's what I do. I just sit at the end of the dock with my goblet of artisanal water, and because to catch the fish, you must think like the fish. So I just sip it and I go, yes, I like that cold water. It's not so good. It's not 100% wrong, but it definitely like tried to distract you from like what it's saying with this other random shit, and you go, oh damn, like it's really trying to like be descriptive of like it's putting the emphasis on a weird spot, like try to find the clear water. Well, okay, first off, you can't, there's very few times where in a lake the body of water that you're fishing on is gonna go from like dingy to like super clear water.
Oh yeah, it
happens. Mike Iaconelli has a story about one of his first tournaments where he was in some dingy water. I think it was like a river system, and he found a pot, like a hole. He was referring to it as a hole of like clear water.
Okay.
And he did great because he did get to that clear water area where the fish were like hitting good right there. You know, so like it's not super far fetched. And I wonder if that's like, you know, it pulls from everything on the internet. Mike Iaconelli talks about that in his book. That might be where it's taking like, you know, professional fishermen.
Right.
I'm going to take what he says here. He says, look for clear water and stuff. So there's some truth to it. But the way it gets there is so wild.
And I appreciate its effort to try to make like outside connections, because me and you have always like, one of the things when we started Real AF TV is like, dude, you know what is, there's no like humor in teaching anymore. Like, It's hard for me to say this because I don't have high self-esteem in this department, but I do think I'm a funny person, and I think together we're really funny. That we really feed off each other's energy. But it's hard it's hard for me to say that out loud. First of all, it's just hard for me to say that. But I think that was a big thing about Real AF TV and starting Real AF TV is saying like, we're going to teach people, but we're just going to talk. Like, we're just going to talk normal and we're going to try to be, we're not going to try to be funny, but we're going to use our sense of humor, our chemistry to make it funny. So that way you can remember it. And we always do shit like that. We always do some weird, funny shit. But this is fucking weird. Places where they go to stalk prey without needing night vision goggles.
Yeah, to just say that is like, I don't know. They don't need night vision goggles because they don't rely solely on sight. That's why they can exist in a lake that looks like chocolate milk.
Yeah.
They don't,
Right.
They do like to, I mean, they utilize their sight and they like to stalk prey and stuff.
Sure.
But to be like, they like to go where they don't use night vision goggles is just like, hold up, AI, you missed it a little bit. I mean, I guess if you're talking about just preference, sure, maybe that is what they would prefer.
Sure.
But they're dumb fish and we can't ask them these questions. They will set up, if they have clear water, they will use ambush points to their benefit, and they'll do the same in like dingy water and stuff, you know, because a lot of that kind of stuff, they can still cast shadows and shit. So that'll spook the other fish, you know, if there's a big shadow above them, they'll run real fast. Because they don't know. Yeah, they don't know what the shadow is always coming from. Right. And could be a predator above them. Where they're like, oh, what was that? Oh, it was just cloud or whatever. But probably not a cloud, you know, something darker than a cloud. Right. Anyways, that was random. I don't know why I started.
No, you're making you're making good points, because it really does make it sound like if you have a cloudy, dingy lake or a river that doesn't have good visibility, that there's no bass in there.
Yeah.
And
right.
That's just not true.
Just simply not true at all.
Right.
Some of the biggest fish from down south are coming out of lakes that you can't see. I mean, they're coming out of lakes that are classified to be like low visibility. And low visibility
that's
is like
a great way
1 to 2 feet. Yeah. 1 to 2 feet of visibility is like what's classified as low visibility.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And if you're ever trying to like gauge what that is, take like a white lure and drop it in the water. Mm-hmm. And like a lot of, you know, everything has its own kind of sink rate, but a kind of rule of thumb is a lot of times it'll fall like, generally speaking, pretty close to like a foot a minute or a foot a second. A foot a minute would be slow as shit.
Right.
But a foot a second, where you just kind of like drop the bait and go 1, 2, and as you're counting, just wait until you can't see it anymore. And then you can just be like, all right, it got to like 6. That was, 6 seconds. Mm-hmm. Obviously, some of the bigger baits can fall faster or whatever, or if they don't have very much drag, they can go quick. But if you take like a white lure and you drop it and you go 1, 2, and it's gone, you're like, damn, dude, I couldn't see that shit almost immediately.
That's low visibility. Yeah.
Yeah. And in that case, they're not trying to sip out of their goblet. They're they're waiting to feel the fish move.
That's what I was gonna say. This must be where like the buzz baits and like things that rattle and
shit that's on the surface that's causing the stirring. Or like that's where like rattles come into play. Some of the clear water, the rattles can actually make them like not want to bite too much, because the rattles are almost unnecessary and off-putting. Like they when they don't need to hear it to see it, so they see it, but then they hear it. It might almost be like kind of confusing them, where when they're relying more on their sound than their sight, or the lateral line where they feel the vibration. That one, the sound can help a lot, because then it can help them like hone in. Right. And kind of turn them on too, where they're like not really paying attention, and all of a sudden they hear And they go, what the fuck is that?
Right.
Then you
Yeah.
put down this goblet and get to work. I can't get over that. It's so funny because it's
I know.
almost like the AI, I don't know if AI is all, it's learning and stuff,
Yep.
but it had to start somewhere. Like somebody was kind of like prompting it and telling it like, here's what you should think, or giving it inputs to get it to where it's kind of going. And it's like somewhere along the line, it thinks that it needs to zhuzh everything up like it's an author, like clearly how it's telling you the story.
Right.
It's trying to write everything where it's just like largemouth and smallmouth. And just like, I just asked about largemouth. Just give me the tips. You're not an art author here. And it's trying to give you these different analogies and stuff. Yeah. And that's a really good point. It's like putting the emphasis on the shit that nobody cares about. Like where it's just like,
well, yeah, wait until we, yes.
Yeah, let's hit more of this. Yeah.
There's more.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
But no, you make a really good point about how it is like it is an author, like trying to build it feels like I want tips. And then in a small paragraph, it feels the need to like try to craft a story, but there's not enough there. And so it just is like, it's giving emphasis in like unneeded areas. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, like I was just thinking about that, like in certain situations, like when you're out there fishing and you see like birds are kind of like swooping down. A lot of times they're kind of hitting like prey, like the bait fish. There might be like a ball of bait fish that they're honing in on. That might be like a clue to go check that out. Right. And the reason that those birds are there is because it's hitting the bait fish, and the bait fish are what the bigger fish are trying to eat. So you're like, okay, we should go over to that. Right. And it feels almost like the AI would just be like, look for the birds soaring majestically through the skies. And you're just like, no, we're talking about the water here. You're focusing on the wrong part.
Right. Yes, we're not writing a fucking screenplay.
Right.
Yeah, on that, dude, here's a great one. This is the first tip that it gives. Know your bass basics. Largemouth bass are like the cool kids at the freshwater party. Oh boy. They hang out in a mix of cover and structure. So the cool kids are always hanging out at cover and structure.
Yeah.
Picture them chilling near submerged vegetation, fallen trees, rocks, and other cozy spots. These are their VIP lounges. So when you're scouting, think, where would a bass throw a secret party? Party emoji.
It gave you the party emoji.
Oh, yeah. It totally put the party emoji in there, dude.
Damn, dude. I am going to start doing that. I'm going to start telling.
Put the party emoji and shit.
Well, not the party emoji, but I'm going to, I like that, what it gave us there, because I'm going to, like, if anybody's just being like, I do randomly have people just be like, what would you do? Because they know that I fish.
Yeah.
And they go, I'm going here. What would you do this weekend? And I'm just going to be like, I tell you what, when you're on the lake next time, get the lake map of where you're going. Take a look. And just be like, where would the bass hold a secret party? That's what you want to do.
That's a pro tip right there.
And not just like a lame kid party either. These are the cool kids in the freshwater club. Think about where the cool kids would throw the secret party. Not some nerd land fucking party.
Yes. Oh, that's such a great late 90s, early 2000 reference right there. I love it.
Yeah, what are the kids into these days? Is like they had that. Well,
the internet's so fast now, you don't fucking need a LAN party anymore.
No, I know. Yeah, LAN doesn't exist. Everybody's like, what the fuck? They don't even know what a landline is.
I know what
I just seen a clip the other day where it was just like a phone line in the wall, And some girl was just like, I just moved into this house. What kind of a USB port is this?
That's
Yeah,
great.
but yeah, dude, that's funny. It's a secret party. They're the cool kids at the
Freshwater party.
the cool kids at the freshwater party. And then they, oh, what was the second line?
Oh yeah, so this is where the actual tip comes in, and it says they hang out in a mix of cover and structure.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Good.
Picture them chilling near submerged vegetation. Picture them chilling near
Picture them just chilling, bro.
vegetation, fallen trees, rocks, and other cozy spots. I don't know what other cozy
Cozy.
spots is supposed to mean, but like, okay, I think what the AI is trying to say there is that like things that they can like kind of just snug into, right?
Probably structure, and it couldn't think of another way to say like structure because
Yep.
the examples it gave you there was like weeds and rocks and trees.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
they're also constantly around boat lifts and docks and
Yep.
whatever else you can find in the water. If there's some structure there, there's a good chance because it's just a food chain thing. The structure that's there provides them an ambush point. It provides them shade in a lot of cases. A lot of times, like algae grows off of that, which just spark when you get that stuff going off, or like the moss and stuff. Or not moss, it's algae.
I know what you mean.
Doesn't matter. It just starts the whole food chain.
Right.
You got the microorganisms down there that the fucking minnows are feeding on, and the bass are feeding on the minnows, and
right.
it's just the whole shit. So it's not wrong. It's just funny to hear how oddly specific it is, and to just be like, they're like the cool kids, and just be like, so like the sunfish that are constantly in the same spot as them are just like the kids
Nerds pushing up their glasses, holding up the wall at the dance party, or what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
like the
I mean, to be fair, the bass are the cool kids at the fucking party, but
they are the cool kids, and they will get ate. They're like the jocks, like the jocks that are just kind of like in the area, and everybody's like, when people walk on the dock, when actual people walk on the dock, and they go, oh shit, that's a big bass right there, goddamn. And you see all the sunfish, and you're not really excited about it, but there are a lot of people there, and you're like, look at all these fish. People do get just like, holy cow, there's a lot of fish. Oh, and one over there is an athlete. That he's got the Letterman's jacket on and stuff. That's kind of wild. You think
he's got that black striped Leatherman's jacket on the side.
Yeah, he looks like
loud
probably
mouth, big mouth.
I bet. Yeah, big mouth. That thing is just like, oh shit. One of those kids got too close to him and he fucked him up.
Oh shit. That's good. Here comes some more coming in hot. Lure matching. So to get back to the lure part that we're kind of talking about with the dingy water in the habitat. Lure matching. Bass have preferences. Just like humans on a dating app. To win their hearts, or at least their bites, match your lure to what's on their menu. If they're into tiny bait fish, serve up something that looks like your favorite snack. Texas rigged worms are let me try that again. Texas rigged worms are like the bass equivalent of a candle lit dinner. I didn't know candle lit was one word. So,
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So that totally threw me off. I was going to say cantilever, and I'm just like, cantilever dinner don't make no sense. Let me try that sentence again.
Yeah, nice.
Texas rigged worms are like a bass equivalent of a candlelit dinner. Classy and hard to resist.
Oh, that's not wrong.
Yeah?
That's definitely, I mean, it's a Texas rigged worm is definitely a go-to. They like worms, and you can drag that across the bottom. You can work it like a jig and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great lure. Like 100% found out like, yes, this is a good lure to use.
Oh, nice.
So like color and stuff plays a role, the weight plays a role, but
Yeah.
it's not wrong. It's a good thing. The fact it's clearly still just trying to use different analogies where it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, bass can be picky, and then we gotta like try to match them up. What else can we match? Scours the internet. Dating sites, that's a popular thing right now.
Humans are very picky on their dating sites. How come
Yeah.
everybody's not just boning each other?
Right.
It's with all these swipe lefts.
If you found your bass on the Christian Mingles site, maybe don't try throwing out a daredevil. They're not into those.
Yeah. Oh shit. That was good. That's really good.
Except for those one bass that everybody knows about. That girl that you found on Christian Mingle that everybody knew went to Christian school, but she wasn't really that Christian. You know what I'm saying? Then the daredevil is just the ticket. So you might have found the girl on this website thinking that this was not the lure for her, and it turns out that she's just putting on a front, and she would love nothing more than to get that devil. It's just
So good.
I mean, the analogies are like there. It's true. You could play around it for you could play around with it for a while. It seems to be too like AI seems to be unintentionally funny a lot of times because it tries to use these analogies, and it uses analogies that are like just so out in left field that it becomes kind of random, and random a lot of times is funny.
Is funny.
It just is. So
yeah. It's totally funny.
Yeah.
I agree. And to go to the Texas rig thing and the lure matching, I know that's right. We've talked about that before, but Texas rig it's not one of those because we haven't talked about rigs yet. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's not one of those with like fucking 18 fish coming off the back that you can't use here in Minnesota, right?
That's an Alabama rig. No, Texas rig is just straightforward. It's a weight that's in front of the hook that has the worm on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We've talked about that enough times. It just doesn't sink in when I'm not specifically.
Yeah. It's a real straightforward presentation. Just it's like having a jig, but the weight and the hook aren't attached, basically.
Yeah.
And the way you can hook the worm makes it way more weedless than just having like a normal jig with the hook exposed.
Oh, nice.
So you can go throwing it in, heavy cover and stuff.
Yeah. So that's why you think it picked up on it, because it scoured the internet and was like,
well, I'm sure
Texas rigs are real kind of weedless, and they like weed.
Well, I don't think it would have even went in that far. It probably was just like, what's a great lure that a bass likes? And there are lists all over the place. You can put in like top 10 bass lures. And you're going to find a million YouTube videos of people talking about their top 10 bass lures. And you're going to find different articles of the top 10 bass lures and all this different shit throughout time. And without a doubt, constantly throughout the history of bass fishing, the Texas rig is going to be on that list.
Like in the top three, at least in the top 10.
Yes,
like,
on all of them. So when it's consistently being there,
right,
it's just like, hey, I did my research. Your fish is going to want to fuck this thing. And so I just think the analogy is funny, like when you think of it that way.
Yeah.
But honestly, when I was just thinking about it now, if you flip flop it, it does make sense that like that's how you're trying to describe it to like an old fisherman. Like you got your old fisherman that he's 60 years old and he's been fishing his whole life and he's just never really, he had a wife, but they didn't really do much. And then they got separated. He just been, for the last 30 years, he's been fishing. He's just like, well, I don't even know what to do. And then they come out and they're just like, hey, well, I mean, think of it like the fish you're trying to catch, it's, you go to the bar and there might be a lady there and she might not necessarily be into what you're doing, but that's what you're doing out there in the fishing world. You're casting out your bobber and nothing bites, and it's because they're not, they're a little bit more aggressive than that day. You gotta work a little bit faster. You gotta put in a little bit more effort. You can't just let it sit there and do nothing. You gotta go out there and you gotta put in some work.
You can't just sit there and let it do nothing. You gotta wiggle that worm around.
You gotta wiggle that worm around a little bit. You gotta entice it a little bit. You gotta give it something to look at. You gotta let it know you're interested. You can't just go sit next to the fish and expect it to jump into your boat. You gotta
right. May I suggest helicopter dick? I mean helicopter rig? I don't know. What did I say?
Helicopter dick. To impress a chick, do the helicopter dick. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
But yeah, it's funny because I'm like shitting on the AI because it's so funny how it's saying it. And at the same point, it is kind of goofy to say it the other way. But like if you were trying to give somebody advice that only knew fishing,
mm-hmm.
It's not a bad way to go. So I guess the AI is being like, what do kids know about these days? Dating apps. That's a hot topic.
Right.
Make the fish be like dating apps or some shit.
Some shit. But that's actually what I was gonna say. I was like, oh, okay. Any kids out there listening, leave a comment in the YouTube video. How old do we sound saying land party and fucking going out to the bar to pick people up?
Right. Yeah, that's true. Does anybody do that anymore? I don't even know.
I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't go to the bar. I don't do shit. I didn't ever go to the bar.
Right.
To pick up a lady. I don't know anything about the dating scene. I didn't have to do shit.
Right. But it's just, it's yeah. I've heard a lot about, not a lot. I shouldn't say I heard a lot, but like on the radio, on the morning shows, when I'm driving the kid to work, when I'm driving into work, dropping the kid off daycare, whatever it might be. Yeah, there's all these like trending now, and it is that like bars, like nobody's going out to the bars. It's like not a thing anymore.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, well, here you go. Habitat matters. So we go from. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think the bars are full of people that are already together with people or are just lonely.
Right.
And they're just all there to drink. They're not there to find a person.
Right.
They're just there to drink.
Yep. To drink or hang out with each other with your immediate party that you brought. Yep.
Yeah. Or a lot of times too, I still hear people being like, I had a bad day at work and I broke up with my girlfriend or whatever. I'm going to go to the bar and just sit there and like have a beer. Like, I don't know about you, but if I am in a down place, I'm not going to go spend too much on beer.
Right.
I'm going to get like a 6-pack, 12-pack, whatever I'm feeling. And I'm going to go home and put on a fucking movie.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to the liquor store and I'm going home and turn on Netflix.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm getting fucked up and watching the movie. Yep. That's what I'm doing.
Yep. Okay. So habitat matters. Bass are picky about their real. Oh no, fucking read that one already. Temperature check.
Yeah.
You feeling this? Internet, are you feeling this? Give me a temperature check right now. Let me know.
Thermometer. Which kind are we doing?
Thermometer, butthole. That's the only accurate way to get a temperature. Everybody knows that.
Would you eat an anal thermometer?
Okay. Oh, so here it goes. Bass aren't just cool, so it continues to go down this. It's hanging on to that. Bass aren't just cool. They're temperature sensitive.
True.
Zing. That was a good one.
Mhm.
When the water
Hot
heats up,
tip.
they head for the shade. Docks, submerged timber, weeds, beds are their SPF 50 zones. Yeah. You fucked it up at the end.
Their SPF 50s.
Yeah. So if you're fishing in summer and find those shady spots, it's like bass beach season.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's not wrong, except for that's their SPF 50 zones. Like, no, if we got SPF 50, we don't need to hide from the sun, you dumbass AI.
Right.
That's just called shade.
But it was good to hear it actually say docks, submerged timber, weed beds, and things like that. But why did
Yeah.
it put that in the temperature check? I don't know. It feels a little weird,
Well,
but at least it got that out there.
It does, like, underneath the dock in the shade, the water, I mean, the water doesn't change that much, but in the weeds, down in the weeds, it can be like, in the dense weeds, it can be like 10 degrees cooler
Wow.
in the weeds than it is in the outside water.
Wow.
Yeah, just because down in those weeds, it's shaded and it's not getting, the weeds are kind of like stopping the warmer water from like mixing in. It's just kind of in there. So they can be in there.
Mm-hmm.
And like in the summertime, the matted vegetation,
Mm-hmm.
like when you punch through that, some of the biggest bass can be hiding in that matted vegetation because there can be all sorts of shit underneath there. And it's a nice big, like, it's cool. There's a lot of oxygen in the water because it's the plants are putting off oxygen and shit. So yeah, it's definitely not wrong because it's finding all this shit from
the
valid sources.
Yeah.
Like, you asked it how to catch fish,
right?
And it's telling you how to catch fish. It's just saying weird shit while it's doing
it. right. Yeah, totally. And
yeah,
what you said, and because this is where it kind of falls short. It's just like, submerged timber and weed beds and stuff like that. But like in the lure matching, it didn't really tell me anything about that. And you said punch through. It's like, what would I use to punch through to get to these better temperatures in the middle of summer here while the water's still hot?
Well, so if you're fishing just like weeds and stuff that aren't super thick, like, I'm giving that matted vegetation as an example, but if you could be casting around different weeds and stuff, that Texas rig is going to work in a ton of different spots. And you could even use a Texas rig to punch through matted vegetation. But that's when like a weight plays a role. Like, you want to use a way bigger weight because you want that weight to like literally punch through those weeds.
Right.
Yeah. Like if you go and look at some of the different stuff, sorry, I got a frog in my throat.
It's okay. Go ahead. Take a second here, and I'll say that it's funny that as we record this, the moon phase is very large, and that's where we're gonna go after this. But first, okay. I want to talk more about like punching through vegetation and getting through vegetation.
Yeah. So I might just gave myself the hiccups by coughing. I'll be able to fix it, but it might take a second. I'm gonna have to hold my breath during shit, and then I burped and weird.
Burp hiccup.
Oh. Sometimes I do that. I don't know if that happens to anybody else, but I get like a lump in my throat or whatever, and then I gotta try to like cough. And when I cough hard, I give myself the hiccup somehow. I don't know what the hell that's all about. No, I don't like it.
It's crazy.
It bugs the shit out of me. But punching through the matted vegetation, you just have to use a heavier weight for the most part. And then there's different baits that on a Texas rig, it doesn't have to be a worm all the time. So you can put different stuff. There are different baits that will make it easier to punch through matted vegetation. Or I think I said weights, or did I say baits that time? Weights, baits, both.
Okay.
If you want to, since we're not doing a whole segment on that stuff, and I'm not going to go off on a whole thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Just Google like punching through the stuff, because you use like a bigger weight, and then they have like I think Strike Kings is called like a punch bug, where it's literally like the body is thicker. so it's a little bit like rounder, and then the appendages are a little bit like smaller, where they still move once you get them punched through, but it's not a bunch of shit that's going to get hung up on the weed as it's going through.
Yeah. So I mean, to kind of say things we've talked about before, like creature baits, usually have a lot of flailing parts on them, and look different. And so this is sort of an answer. It's like, yeah, okay, it's probably a bug, but you'd probably also call it a creature bait in a weird way because it doesn't resemble like a real bug, I would guess. Maybe.
Well, kind of, but a bug is more of like not a creature bait. Them bugs are a little bit different.
Okay. Because they have that chubby body on them and stuff like that. Like, a creature bait is almost like a fucked up crawdad.
Yeah, like when I think creature baits, I think of something more like that you would put on, like you could work it on a Texas rig, but more of something that like you would put on like a Carolina rig, which a Carolina rig is very close to the same thing as a Texas rig. It's just more custom fitted to just drag the bait. Like a Carolina rig, you literally just kind of like, you can just kind of like lift the rod slowly, lift the rod tip slowly. So the bait's just dragging across the bottom.
Oh.
And then you just kind of like pick up the slack and then do it again.
Okay.
So like if you got a crayfish, or if you're using something that kind of mimics like a goby or whatever, because gobies just kind of like scoot along the bottom.
Sure.
Like that kind of shit. So you're just scooting it along the bottom. If it's like a rocky area and it's not like really thick weeds, you know, you're just kind of pulling it across the bottom. So like these punch bugs are just like you were saying, less flanges and stuff. So the punching baits, I think, are almost in their own kind of category because you really don't use them anywhere else. They're kind of odd shaped, and you wouldn't want to use them in other. They would probably work,
sure,
but they're specifically designed to be able to punch through better and work.
Right.
Because I don't think the fish think about it as much once it comes through that weeds. You know, if something drops through that weeds and it's waiting, it's not seeing you. It's not seeing much else. It's just seeing something in the weeds, and it goes, "Fuck!" And it smashes that shit.
Yeah, and it does a dumb fish brain.
Easy meal.
Yep. So the podcast, as the podcast drops, even we're in sort of a bigger moon phase. We're in where, you know, it's like a full moon during when the moon is, they call them super moons. Right? We're sort of in a super moon phase. And we've talked a little bit about this. Again, I said that was probably going to be something that came up there's something that was definitely going to come up as we did this. And so I got, it gave moon magic. We're going to do magic now. Bass may not be werewolves. Probably not. But they do pay attention to the moon. Seriously. Some anglers swear by moon phases. When it's full moon time, bass might be more active. I like that it says bass might be more active because, again, it says it right here. Some anglers swear by the moon phases. Maybe they're hosting lunar. I don't even know what the fuck this word is. SOIRE with like the fucking umlaut over it. ES.
Soiree.
Yes. Maybe they're hosting lunar soirees. Who knows? Moon emoji. Why? What the hell's a soiree? How did you know that?
It's just like a fancy French party. I go to them all the time. I'm a fancy Frenchman.
You're going to Largemouth Bass and lunar soirees like all the time. It's just like your thing.
Just French fries, French toast, soirees, fancy shit. You would know about it.
Fancy shit I know nothing about, right? The secret side that I never knew about you. Yeah.
Yeah. We just all sorts of French stuff. You just shit on that other half of Canada that speaks English. We're just like, what these idiots? French Canadian, bro. That's what we say over and over. We're the cool kids. We just find a cozy spot to cuddle up
And drink artisanal water out of glass goblets.
Artisanal waters out of glass goblets. And we just the cool kids at the party. I don't know what to say. No, I don't know how I know. I know a lot of shit that I can't really explain how I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have
No,
no idea.
I know
how
because
know.
like you
I
don't
have no
necessarily
idea.
remember where you learned it from, or sometimes it's just like you have. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's one where you say like, how do you? And I'm not a fucking clue. No idea how I know what a soiree is, but I know what it is.
just got it.
Yeah, it's finger foods. I think lots of
yeah.
just
A moose bouche.
your
That's what a soiree
yeah, the
is.
moose bouche. Whatever your favorite food is, just make it real small. That's
That's
there
a
you
soiree.
go. Soiree. Nailed it.
So the moon phases, it says, it does say, and I like this explanation of, seriously, some anglers swear by moon phases. When it's full moon, bass might be more active. And I'm going, yeah, okay, that sounds like something I would say. And
Yeah.
so when I was a kid, the bank that my parents banked at had calendars. And the calendar had the moon on it. It'd have the like, here's the new moon, here's the half moon, here's the full moon, here's the other half moon, and it would go through that. And then it also had a fishing, like had a little fish on it, and it would be like,
nice.
It would be like there was three different things. There was the empty fish if the fishing was going to be shit. It was half if it was going to be good, and then it was like full fish. It was good. And I believe, and there's no way without seeing it again, that just basically followed the moon cycle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, that's cool, whatever. So I remember learning that really young. I've never tested it. But I believe it because like, it's the old timers.
Yeah.
What do you think about the moon?
I do pay attention to the moon. I was just looking. Looks like Sunday's supposed to be a good day. It's in the green, so that's good. No, it's I'm just but no. If anybody else wants to go out there, you can mess around with it yourself, and you can try to do your own experiments and stuff. Just Google bass fishing moon calendar.
Yeah.
Put those words in any order you want.
Mm-hmm.
It will come up.
Mm-hmm.
Bass moon fishing calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Fishing moon bass calendar. It'll pop up.
It's gonna get you there.
And the bassmaster.com, it'll come up, and they have their calendars. And like this weekend, the thing is they show the moon rise and they show the moon overhead, the moon set, and the moon underfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those are your peak times, and the good days are when they overlap with the sun. So you're talking the solar and the lunar.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have those two, because the solar obviously is something that everybody's gone by, Yeah. At the first light.
Right.
At the dawn, dusk, those are better times of fishing because the fish get more active.
Yep. So
when you have the moon line up on those same times.
Oh, yeah.
Bingo, bango, ready to go. They're good news. So,
nice.
Yeah, you got moon rise on Sunday is at 8:14 p.m. And then the moon overhead is midnight to 12:52 a.m. So you got like that hour. So there's just an example for you. So you got that 12 to 12:52 a.m. And we talked about it on the last podcast of like the smallmouth fishing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was that like moon overhead period of the day that was when it just went ape shit bananas and I caught a fish every cast.
Yeah, that's right.
So I've been able to give an independent study of when during that moon cycle, it was absolutely amazing.
Right. Yeah.
And I've also been out in that same time and not caught much. But I think they do get more active in that time, but there's still the rest of the puzzle to figure out. They might be active as shit, but it's only on one thing that they specifically want to eat, you know, where it's
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's there's more to the puzzle than that.
Right.
But if you can put it all together with that, then you're golden.
Then you're gonna So it has I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like I'll just for example of like the moon calendar too, when you go and check it out, like the earlier this month there was a couple of days where it was in the blue. The Bassmaster gives you colors for the days. There's red, which is tough. There's yellow, which is fair. A lot of yellow days. There's green, which is good, which Sunday is a green day. Monday is even better green day. And then Tuesday is a green day. That's where like the times really start to line up. Where like the moon rise is at the same time as the sunset on Sunday. So that's where you get to play. But like there's also blue days that are epic. There was only 2 epic days this month. And one of them happened to be where the sunrise and the moonrise happened at the same time.
Oh,
you got the
shit.
sun and the moon coming up at the same time. And then the moon overhead is the same time as the sun overhead. It was right in the middle of the afternoon. So they're both directly above us at the same time. And it's like shit like that where like when the two line up is when shit can get chaotic.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah. I mean, it like messes with the water and stuff, you know, the tides.
Yeah. The way the moon pulls on the water of the earth. Yeah.
Yeah. And the barometric pressure plays a role too.
Right.
You know, so if the moon and the sun have anything to do with how the water feels to the bass, like how the barometric pressure does, it makes total sense to me.
Right. Yeah.
And I will tell you that I think that you can, I'll tell you this much. I don't necessarily like swear by it, but if I see that the sun and the moon are lining up at the same time, I'm out there during like I have to be on the water then because it could be an epic time. You know, you might have the best morning ever, and you definitely don't want to be that guy that sees on Facebook a little bit later that people on your lake were just like, "This morning was
fucking slaying them, dude."
Should have been at the party. All the cool kids were there.
Okay, so I'm gonna burn through this one because we're already going long. But
yeah, I know.
So because I did, like I said, I did 2 prompts, and this was only the one, and that's great. That's totally fine. I want to go through how this AI decided to close the techniques. Remember, catching largemouth bass isn't just about technique. It's about understanding their underwater world. So channel your inner bass whisperer, grab your gear, and go make some fishy friends. Fish emoji, star emoji. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. Now this AI, was crazy. I'm just gonna kind of like rip through these.
Let's do it.
Give me a fucking hands up when you're ready. But like
if I gotta say something?
Yeah, if you're just like, hold on, I gotta interject. Just give me on the video, give me the fucking like this, right? So I'll kind of read up in the air here. The reason why I want to like burn through this one is because it's in such contrast to the other one. It's crazy.
Oh, really?
It is. And I think it is at least. Wait till I hear. Okay. Largemouth bass are popular target for anglers due to their aggressive nature and fighting ability. Here are some tips to help you increase your chances of catching a prize fish. Let's review quick how the other one started this out. The elusive largemouth bass, the underwater ninja.
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
comparison of how they intro each other. So
Yeah, it's 100% an author for like a magazine article trying to get somebody into fishing that doesn't fish a lot.
yeah,
And then your second one is like in fisherman
right.
where they're just
Like
like
an
cut to the
actual
chase. You
fish-
don't need any of that shit.
right.
That's
Like here it is. Just don't
Yeah.
worry about it. Understanding bass behavior. Understand their habitat. Largemouth bass prefer areas with cover like rocks, logs, and aquatic vegetation. End of sentence. End of prompt. Know their feeding habits. Bass are opportunistic feeders, but they often target prey near cover. Making a connection there. Consider the time of day. Bass are more active during dawn and dusk in overcast conditions. Choosing the right gear. Last one didn't say shit about gear. Rod and reel. A medium action spinner or bait casting combo is suitable for most bass fishing situations. Line, monofilament, fluorocarbon, braided lines can be used depending on the fishing conditions and lure type. Lures, the best depends on the conditions, but popular choices include soft plastics, crankbaits, spinnerbaits, and topwater lures. It's all stuff you're just covering. You're like, yep. Effective fishing techniques. Cover fishing. Focus on areas with structure like rocks, weeds, or beds. I really, is that a technique? You kind of already told us. Anyways, retrieve slowly.
Yeah.
Often a slow and steady retrieve will entice a bass to strike. You always are talking about the strike, the like retrieve, but why did it specifically say slowly, right?
Yeah, I don't know why it would say slow and steady.
Yeah. I thought that was very weird to throw in there. Vary your presentation. Experiment with different lures and actions of retrieves to find out what works best.
Mm-hmm.
Learn and read the water. Pay attention to the water clarity, temperature, current. Determine the best fishing spots for and use technique, and then adjust your technique. Additional tips. Practice patience. Bass fishing can be challenging, so be patient and persistent. Learn from others. This was like the fucking AI. I was like, woo, go AI. Learn from others. Talk to other anglers and learn from their experiences. I was like,
nice.
You're right there with us. That's why we fucking made the podcast. And then it goes, consider hiring a guide. If you want to fucking learn the ropes, get a guide. It doesn't say it in those words, but that's the summary of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, what a big difference.
Yeah. Huge difference. Because the first one was just goofy and trying to like give you all these random ass analogies and stuff that we were shitting on it for. That second one, for the most part, nailed it. But it didn't, like, the slow and steady is weird.
Yeah.
Where it didn't give any specifics on a lot of the shit. But then it gives specifics on like the one thing that's not quite right. To just be like a slow and steady retrieve. Well, no. I mean, if it's like a crankbait, yeah, I guess slow and steady is kind of sometimes, but you still want to like switch it up a lot, like pauses and twitches, and you just want to like, you know, a straight up steady retrieve can be the ticket sometimes, but very often that's not what you do with most of the lures. You know, you're always like jerk bait, soft plastic, like literally everything but crankbaits. You don't really, except for like a whopper plopper, I guess, is like a, you know, top water where it's got the blade that just goes plop plop plop, or a spinner bait, or like buzz bait. Like those are all like you cast out and you just kind of retrieve in. A spinner bait is more of like you can let it fall and shit, but even still, like you, a lot of times you want to pause and you want to do stuff. It's not like a steady retrieve. It's oftentimes, definitely depending on like the temperature of the water and the time of year, but like a more erratic action can get the trigger the strike.
Yeah.
Or to let it die, like on a calm day. Pop that soft plastic like a fluke, a couple of pop, make it look like a fish that's struggling, and then kill it. Just stop moving it all together.
Yeah.
And when it falls, it comes out and hits it because it can't pass up that easy meal. It saw the fish struggle, and then it saw the fish not move. And then it comes and eats that shit because it's an opportunistic feeder, which is what it said. That part, it nailed it. But the part that I thought was weird is when it's like randomly talking about different stuff. And it's like you ask it how to bass fish, and then it goes, yeah, do this and that. And it goes, but definitely adjust your presentation to water clarity, this and that. And it hit like very broad topics with a tweak it for that. And you go like, how? You didn't tell us any of that part. Like a novice fisherman is going, asking AI what I should do. And AI says you should fish around weeds and this and that, and you should do this. And it goes, here's a couple of different things you should use, soft plastic, crankbaits and stuff. And then just goes, but pay attention to the water clarity, the
temperature, the current.
Water temperature, the current. And then you go, what the fuck does that? I think that would confuse you more. You go, okay, so if there's higher current and the water's cold and dingy, how do I adjust it? And the AI is like, you just do. What a stupid fucking question.
Techniques.
Yeah. You adjust
but it was very much like, here are some techniques. And it just says, retrieve slowly. You're like, what?
Yeah. I don't know why.
And cover fishing, like to the techniques thing. It also did the techniques were shit. I think cover fishing, focus on areas with structure like rocks, logs, or weed beds. No. You told me that's what they like. So I know that I'm going to go look for that. How is that a technique to focus on that? That's not a fishing technique.
Yeah, so it didn't nail it 100%. It did a really good job on a lot of it, but there are parts that it screwed up a little bit, and it wouldn't have taken that long to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Where it could have just been like, water clarity plays a role. In clearer water, try to make it look more natural, but in dingy water, use brighter colors.
Oh,
in colder, in the case of water temperature, a wider wobble can work better in the, wider wobble or more action can work better in warmer waters, and colder water, a tighter vibration, and then name whatever, a lipless crankbait can work better in colder waters,
right? And that would have been that's not that many words really when you think about it. Like that would have been effective techniques, but the techniques are just the techniques are weird. But I love that it was just like, practice patience. Bass fishing can be challenging. Like that was never talked about in the other one. And it's just like, man, like that's part of the experience. You got to enjoy that being patient part and that hunt and the, it put some cool shit in there.
It's definitely doing like a little bit of like what we think on both ends of the spectrum.
Sure.
Like where it's, the second one was being more informative and not being scared, go talk to somebody that knows how to fish. You're like, okay, nice.
Right.
Good. Not being the weird, like, don't worry about what anybody else has to say. Go figure it out for yourself. Like, it's just saying, like, other people have done this before.
Right.
Why don't you go and ask their advice?
Yeah.
Like, that's a great tip. And the other one was like, why don't we try to zhuzh it up a little bit, help people remember the story by giving some like funny analogies and stuff. And then, but it like missed the point because it was just saying weird shit.
Right.
So it's like both of those things combined is kind of like what we're shooting for. And neither of them did a perfect job on either point, but both of them, if you had no idea what you were doing and you asked AI, they both pointed you in the right direction.
Right. Yeah.
So they didn't do a bad job.
Yeah. Not even being an avid bass fisherman. I agree, because we've been doing this podcast for so long, and I've been around you for so many years in fishing, and I fished with you and other friends. And so like I get it. I understand it. I speak the language. I do fish myself. I get it. And I agree that like not being as avid as a fisherman as you are, I picked up on the same thing. Like this would work, but there's better ways to learn.
Yeah. And when we were talking about like the different prompts too with the AI before, when we were kind of touching on, where we're telling it to, hey, make a ninja fish shirt, and
Yeah.
then it makes it, and then we go, hey, make it a little bit more like a fish, like after we don't get exactly what we want.
Right.
I'm sure you could have done that with the AI too, where
Yep.
it's just like use different techniques, and then you go, hey, AI, can you explain to me what some of those techniques are?
Right. You
Instead
could
of
have.
just telling me to use different techniques,
Right.
that
Yep.
kind of shit.
Yep. For sure.
So I think it's a tool that honestly, currently, it feels like a really good version of Google,
Right.
where instead of having to like look through all the articles
Yeah.
myself,
Yeah.
I can just be like, AI, tell me what you found on the internet. And then AI
Summarize
just
the internet for me, please.
Yeah. Summarize the internet. And then that weird first one is just like, it's like all the cool kids at the party. And you just go, can you say it different than that? You're being weird right now.
Oh, that'd be great. Oh shit. All right, Tim. That's a great note to end the fishing topic on. You ready to go into the random
I'm ready.
take?
Yep.
Talking about some trading cards?
Hell yeah.
All right. Fuck yeah. Here we go. Hit the break. Welcome back to the Real AF TV podcast, show about fishing and random takes from Atlanta to 1,000 lakes. You made it to the random take. If you are listening to this for the long haul, then great, because this one's going into the 2-hour mark. No problem. We had some wrestling references in the beginning that really took us going. For those of you joining us on Friday,
Yeah.
also, if you're joining us on Friday for just the random take, this is the trading cards thing.
Yep.
4 years ago, episode 3, we talked about cards. This is
Damn.
going to be way different. We'll get into that in a second. But also, what you know about bass trading cards? You come over here to a fishing channel and you think we know nothing
Yeah.
about bass cards? Go to episode
Yeah.
87 and check it out, because we know.
We know about them.
I'm just being an asshole for fun.
Yeah.
Tim.
You think I don't know about bass cards, bro?
You don't
As
know.
a Bill Dance rookie card, brother. How it's a rookie card when he's like 50, I don't quite understand, but he's like 50 in this photo.
He's 50 in that photo. It's an 87 rookie card. And he's still
Yep.
kicking it in 2024.
1990 rookie card, which is like
I wasn't that close.
34 years ago. And I think he's 142 right now.
Right. So do the math backwards and you'll figure it out.
He was already over 100 years old in this photo.
Now, Tim, the reason why I wanted to, I guess we'll say redo this topic is because it was different back then. We're like, oh, we're going to do an hour. And then we started talking and we talked more and we talked more. And eventually we were just like, yeah, dude, this is not an hour-long podcast. We can't do a fishing topic in a half an hour. That ain't working for us.
Nope.
And it seems to me over the last 4 years, your relationship with trading cards has changed drastically. And I'm like,
Yeah.
let's talk about it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, my shit, I definitely got like back into it.
Yeah, dude. That's what I thought.
Yeah. And then also like never cared about Pokemon cards when I was a kid. Didn't collect any of that stuff.
Yeah.
The Pokemon cards nowadays are so much cooler than the ones that we had when we were kids. I went from like not giving a shit to now I'm like, damn, dude, these like now I'm into Pokemon cards like with my son.
Yeah.
And my nephew
so
likes them
good.
too. So we went from just like not really caring to all of a sudden like these things don't look anything like, I mean, if you're on the YouTube and you're seeing it, like this is a kind of cooler picture than what they used to be, but like this is what they all used to look like.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
Now you got the opportunity to pull like a golden card like this,
Jeez.
where they're just gnarly looking.
Yeah,
I didn't
and the art is
grab
fucking super sick. I mean, that Flareon didn't look like shit, but it was like
no,
it felt
it's
standard,
just-
felt basic.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't
I
grab
forgot,
any of the-
Tim. Oh, we're gonna talk about trading cards.
Well, yeah, nice. Well, like look at the art too. Like see how it's just a picture here, and then you got like the card down here.
The stats and whatever. Yeah.
These are like the Pokemon is the whole card. His feet go all the way down. Like,
yeah,
it's a
because
picture.
the standard one, it's like the upper third is a picture, and then the lower 2/3 are stats or whatever it is where the Pokemon playing when you play the game. And the other gold fucking art, the Pokemon literally went from the top to the bottom of the card. It was sick.
Yeah, and they got like the different full arts and alternate arts and shit. It's wild. Like some of it's literally like the alternate arts are like shit that like artists have done, where it goes. It's not a picture anymore, or there's like trainer gallery cards.
What's that?
Where a trainer gallery card is like, it'll be like, you know, Flareon, for example.
Yep.
It'll be like the Flareon card, but the trainer gallery will be like Flareon, and they'll have a trainer in the card, and it'll be like a full art.
Oh.
But it'll be like a art, like a depiction of them. It could be as mundane as like them chilling on a couch together in like a nice setting where like it's like you see like the whole room that they're chilling in. But it's just that.
Yeah. But that's what it is. It's just like, it's what a trainer in a gym, I guess, for lack of a better term, because I'm not a Pokemon person, but it's like, that's what a Pokemon and a trainer would do.
Yeah.
Just be hanging out. Like you can't fucking just be in the gym kicking ass the whole time. Sometimes you just got to chill out.
Yeah. I have a full art Pidgeotto one that's like, the Pidgeotto is just like chilling on a street sign. Like, yeah, that's what a bird would do. You know, it's a Pokemon, but it's still a bird. Dude. So he's just chilling on a street sign.
Is the street sign in Japanese, or is it in English, or is it in non-legible? Like, what is it? Do you remember?
I think that one's in English, but I don't really remember it. Okay. It's just, for whatever reason, that one was easier to find too. Like, I think I have like 2 of those.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, we get the different sets and try to hit, like, that's, with regular sports cards, I won't really look at what's out there. Like, I don't want to know, because I know the players that I want, and I'm hoping to hit the player. And when I get the player, I'm just like, hell yeah, that's cool. Like, whatever set I'm going for, I'm just trying to get the player in that set. Where Pokemon is like, I'll look at the set, and if they don't have any good cards in that set, like, then I won't buy, because they have so many different sets, you know?
Oh, okay.
There's like, they just keep coming out with different, there's like the Scarlet and Violet, which is like the newest stuff out now, but they keep coming out with different sets of those cards, and they just keep coming out with it because they can make their own stuff.
Right.
It's not like a yearly thing. Like, there's different with the sports cards. There's different, like, there are different sets, but the cards are completely different. The Pokemon cards are always the same, but they'll just have like a, you know, this art looks cool in this set. You have this, you know, you have this card you could pull.
Oh.
You know, this Pokemon card is available, where the cards are always the same.
They're always the same, and like the stats are always the same, so that the game is, so like the card game that you can play is level, or what do you mean?
No, I think the stats can be different, but like the cards are always Pokemon cards. Like they're, it's not like where you get all these different, you know, it's not a Donruss where it's completely different looking than a Mosaic.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
They all look like Pokemon cards, and some can be like full art and whatnot. But it's like,
right.
For example, there was the Obsidian Flames was one that was more of like, you had a chance at a like a really dope Charizard
Okay.
in that, which we ended up hitting. Like that was the card we were going for.
I think you might have told the story on the 4th of July one, but like on the 4th of July episode, I think you did.
Yeah, for sure, because it happened on the 4th of July.
Yeah. And so that was actually one of my questions I wrote down, and I'm going to actually look at the notes really quick to see if I'm remembering my question properly. But what it comes down to is like, okay, you can get cards all over the place, right? I mean, just like all over the internet, there are cards.
Yeah.
If you're looking for like specific ones, but we can't forget that like Target and Walmart, well, Target had a little outage there for a little while. They're back now, I think.
Yeah.
But like they got so popular that Target stopped carrying them because they were having like riots or some shit in the stores. But
yeah,
like,
for a little while, people were like fighting over Pokemon cards. It got weird for a little bit.
Yeah. Shit got crazy. Which,
yeah,
but still, that's all part of my example of like, so you can go to Target and you can go to Walmart and you can just pick these up. You've talked about getting sets or tins or whatever during Christmas time.
Yeah.
You said we were going for that card. I don't recall, even back in my days when I was collecting baseball cards pretty regularly, I don't recall like having that knowledge or like knowing if I got this pack, there was a chance that I could get a game worn jersey or something like that. I mean, those ones were because they fucking advertised it on the front, but like how are you keeping up on shit like that? If you're saying like they're always coming out with new packs too.
Oh yeah. Just Googling it for the most part. A lot of the knowledge I have of Pokemon cards comes from my nephew.
Oh yeah.
He's just like, they have this one.
Kids have so much free time. It's the fucking best, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not even, most of the time, I'm not really like digging into it myself. He'll just come and hit me with this shit. Like he'll just have it pulled up. Look at what you can hit. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's dope, dude.
Right.
We got to try to hit that.
Yeah.
And then as soon as that knowledge is in my head, that's the pack I'm looking for.
Right.
Like the Obsidian Flame is like two or three ago already. Jeez. But I knew that it was out there. So every time I saw it, and then we're in the Walmart that we ended up going to only because I forgot a sweatshirt. Couldn't find a fucking sweatshirt. They didn't have a sweatshirt in the whole Walmart. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Up north Minnesota, which is the fucking most random thing where you always need a sweatshirt after the sun goes down, no matter what time of year it is.
Right. There's mosquitoes like a motherfucker. You put on a sweatshirt, you'll rather sweat your face off than get eaten alive, So it's like, we wear sweatshirts. Yeah. But so I couldn't find one of those, and then I'm like, whatever, I'm gonna grab some cards. Like, we're gonna open these in the car, and I get my nephew some football cards, and I grab the Obsidian Flame because I see that, and I'm like, shit, yeah, dude, I don't see a lot of these around anymore. Like, they're kind of cleared out. Like,
it must be, it must be getting sold out kind of on the end of its run sort of situation.
Yep.
Sick.
Yep. And it's just sitting there, and it was like the only one, I think it was like the only pack of the Obsidian Flame too. There was like a random assortment of, they were kind of already picked over, and I just grabbed like the last Obsidian Flame, the Obsidian Flame left. And it's got a card that like graded. That card is selling for like $150.
God damn, dude.
And it was just like
sick.
It was deafening in that truck cab when we pulled that. Everybody's just like, ah!
Everybody except your wife. Your wife was plugging her ears.
She was just like, no, that was insane. Yeah. But I was going to say too, the other thing, like they got some really crazy looking ones, but we have one that's a Celebi. It's like a grass type Pokemon. Doesn't really matter too much. Yeah. It's a cool Pokemon, but it's called an amazing rare. Like they all have their different things too. Back in the day, there was a holo and a non-holo, and that was it. Or I think there was a holo, reverse holo, and then regular card.
And this is a card. It's not the Pokemon itself, right?
What do you mean? Oh,
Because you know how there's like a shiny Pokemon or whatever? There's not like
Oh,
a
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
reverse hollow Pokemon, right? You're talking about the card.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking
Yeah.
about the card.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So Celebi.
shiny is just for people that don't know, shiny is just like the different coloring of Pokemon.
Yeah.
So like a shiny Charizard is a black Charizard, where the normal Charizard is red.
Right.
And we have that they
I would call
had
it orange, but you know.
Yeah, right. You're right. Orange. Yeah. So we have the shiny version of that card. It was like a promo card that came in a tin. So it's a silver card with the shiny Charizard.
Oh,
so it's that exact card, but it's like reversed. It's silver with a black Charizard. And then we pulled the gold Charizard. That's the regular coloring of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like
Sick.
in the bottom, they have like all their different the stars and stuff that show. There's like a 1 star. I forget. My nephew knows all this shit. He's the one that I learned all this stuff from. So don't be like, God damn, this dude really knows his Pokemon. I know what I've been told.
Right.
I have,
and you pay attention to your nephew. So
I do pay attention. Yeah. So there's like the stars and stuff that will show you. Like 1 star is like a rare, and then there's like 2 stars, like super rare or whatever. But like there's one we have upstairs that is an A down here, and that one stands for amazing rare.
Oh,
and it's like this color splotch like crazy, and the colors are like bleeding into the main card all over the place.
Oh, sweet.
And it's all like glittery and cool looking. Yeah.
Like it has
So
like the glitter and is like holographic or like laid over the top of the card. Is
Yes.
That, oh, sick.
Yeah. Well,
That
it's
sounds
like
so
laid
cool.
over the top of the card, but then like the picture is like on top of that still.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's wild looking. Like they do some really, really cool stuff. The different textures and stuff too that they have. But like back in the day, like a hollow is the picture itself is shiny. This is a hollow.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because
I
the
can see
picture
that.
itself is shiny.
Yeah.
A reverse hollow is this is not shiny and the card is shiny.
Oh, interesting.
So that's a reverse hollow. And then anything better than that, like this whole card is like a metal flake, shiny as shit.
Yeah.
You know, this one's gold. This one is a 3 star, and I forget all the titles. I don't know. Some of it, I think this one
sometimes
might be.
There's just too much detail, right? As much as you do listen to your nephew, you're like, fucking, some of this I can't keep up with.
Well, and then it doesn't necessarily, it's like one of those where you don't know what should be the next step. Like I want to say that one's called a secret rare.
Oh,
but so like a secret rare and then amazing rare.
Right.
And then there's rainbow rares where the card is like a rainbow. We haven't hit one of those yet.
Okay.
But it's that kind of shit where like all the different levels of like what is more rare starts to get lost in the weird words where you're like, so secret is more rare than amazing.
Yeah. That's the shit that you remember when you have all summer to sit down and study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And right now there's probably like, if any kids are listening to this, they're just like, it's not that hard, you know? But anyway,
I work 40 hours a week or more. Okay.
Yeah, I work a lot more than 40 hours.
Right. I know. I was using the temp number. I know that you
know.
Sure.
I know.
But yeah.
No, I'm saying buddy to the kid, not to you. I'm just saying, you little shit. Yeah, I don't have them. But no, so that's the extent. I know I was going off on Pokemon cards, but that's the extent of my Pokemon card knowledge. So I am excited to pull Pokemon cards because there is way more opportunity to hit way different cards. Like I got a Pikachu that's a regular Pikachu upstairs, but it's a full art. The whole thing's shiny and the whole background is just colorful as hell, and it's got like 7 different Pokemon on it, but it's a Pikachu card, and it's like,
what?
That thing is worth a decent amount of money because that's the card people are going after. But it's
sounds crazy.
It's not a super rare card, but
it's
because of the artwork, because of the artwork, it is in high demand. So even though it's not that rare, it's more sought after than the other ones because it's dope. It has Pikachu with a smattering of other popular Pokemon in the card as well. You know, so when you start getting that kind of shit, it just becomes like the artwork, when people think it looks cool, it means something
Yeah.
in Pokemon, where some of the sports cards, not so much. Like if it looks cool as shit,
Uh-huh.
but it's not super rare or
Mhm.
it's not a rookie year or anything,
Yeah.
nobody really gives a shit. Like
right.
I have like, for example, this is a Marcus Smart prism, and it's the green refractor. Like
It looks super cool. Like I don't know how to explain that. This part, if you're
Yeah.
listening on podcast, you just gotta go over to YouTube and check that shit out.
Well, when you're looking at like prism and optic, like the more expensive, nicer cards,
Uh-huh.
they're all shiny, dude. Like
Yeah, they all have that
like,
something shiny on them.
yeah. Well, this one, I mean, like the other nicer ones are all shiny. They're like in like an epoxy. This is a Donruss. Like it makes it harder to see because I got them in sleeves because they are shiny.
Oh yeah.
But this one, the card itself is not shiny. You got, oh, I'm just fucking, hey, everybody. They have the gold, like,
yeah, the
lettering
name or
and
the
stuff.
words, whatever type is
Yeah.
up there. That's shiny.
But the card itself is not shiny one bit.
Okay.
Meanwhile, like the select, that's the whole thing is like an epoxy.
Yeah.
Like Topps, it back in the day, it used to be like Topps Chrome
Yep.
is what would look like this.
Yeah.
So that's what you get.
Mm-hmm.
But this Marcus Smart is cool, and that colorway, or not colorway, that's like shoes, but that color variant makes it more expensive than the regular one because that green is not what they normally come with, even though he has a green outfit.
Mm-hmm.
So that color match, having his, because he's a Celtic, that's green and that's green. That's like sought after and cooler to have that color match. People like that
Yeah.
are fans of Boston and shit.
Right. Right.
But because this is a year where it's not his rookie year,
oh, yeah.
and nobody, like, this card is not worth nearly as much as like the regular rookie card.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
where in Pokemon, if you had a card a year apart and one looked way cooler than the other one,
Uh-huh.
the one that's cool as shit is the one that people want.
yeah, yeah. And the way they print the cards, they do make them more rare too. Like they know that these fucking cool art
Yeah.
is better to have fewer printed.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Which is the same with the basketball card, but like you just said, there's so much that influences the value on that, where that Marcus Smart was just like, yeah, I mean, it was all right.
Yeah.
It was a fine year, but like nothing special about your junior year in the league, you know?
Right.
That kind of situation.
Yeah. And you start, oh, fuck, I lost my train of thought.
That's okay. Cause if you get it back, let me know. But I do have a question.
Okay.
Is to the pricing thing. How in the fuck do you find reliable pricing today? I was doing research for this, you know, I'm trying to like keep up. It's like, okay, how do I find pricing and shit? It's like, I remember buying a baseball Beckett back in the day. You just go to wherever you bought your cards from. And then you know, every month the Beckett would come out, give a couple bucks for this, piece of paper stapled together. And it would have the going value for a card.
Yeah.
How in the hell do you do it in the digital age? Like, is the Beckett, the capital THE Beckett, still around? You have to subscribe to this shit. I found subscribe ones.
So Beckett is still around, but like there's a couple of different website, like Beckett. I don't know how good their website is and stuff, but Beckett is still like the most comprehensive like grading out there. Like the hardest, like if you get a 10 in your graded cards from Beckett that has like the black label, that's like the most sought after out there, because Beckett is like the most scrutinous when they're grading their cards, because they have all 4 They have centering, edges, corners, and surface, I believe.
Mm.
And they'll grade all 4 of those.
Mm.
So my son has a couple of graded Charizards, and they're 9.5, gem mint 9.5,
Nice.
because there's like a couple of 10s and then a couple of 9.5s, so it's almost perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But to have 10s across the board, you get a special black label, and those cards are worth more than like all the other cards out there, because people know like that card is legitimately perfect.
Right.
But
That's
like,
crazy. And that's
there's
when you say graded, you mean like you send it in to Beckett and then they look over it. Their experts look over it and they seal it in a fucking.
Yes. Yeah, shit. I should have had.
And those you're
think I
buying,
have
right?
any
Like
of
you
my
don't
graded.
have anything that you've sent out to be graded.
I haven't sent. No, there's some shit that I have that I'm waiting to send out.
Okay.
That there's a guy at one of the pickup spots that has some stuff. And I've told him, like, let me know next time you guys are sending stuff in, because they'll send shit in as like a group.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I got stuff. Let me know.
Nice.
You know,
Nice.
I'm ready to, like, those Pokemon cards I was talking about, those gold ones. I
Right,
want those
right.
graded and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get a good grade too,
Mhm.
the price jumps drastically, because then you have this basically proof.
Yeah, as a
that
certification.
It's not you just like looking at it and
Right.
seeing, I think this looks nice.
It's a letter of authenticity and shit.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at prices, my deal, there's a website that I always go to called sportscardinvestor.com.
Oh.
Yeah. And when you go on there, it'll show you what has happened in the market.
Oh.
So it's
interesting.
not, yeah. And you can see like different, there's a couple other sites like this, but like it's showing you that, like right now it's showing you that the average price as of the 12th of August was $49 for this Anthony Edwards rookie card. But that not too long ago, that one of them did sell for more money than that. Like it's talking about like the PSA 10
Mhm.
graded rookie, and it's showing that on the 19th somebody purchased one for 60, but they're also out there when you look at them priced at like, some of them are priced at like $400. So like people are just like, it's crazy what people are trying to get people to buy.
Right.
And that's just like what they have on the market. Everybody goes out there and puts on whatever price they want on eBay.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of got to scour and stuff and find.
That's exactly why I asked this question, is because I know that eBay is like a hot spot to go and get cards and shit. I mean, that's how we ended up with our Bass cards.
Yeah.
But it was one of those situations where I thought, but how do you judge that true what I should be spending value? Because I know that so many people jack them up. I remember, to relate it to Pokemon, you remember when the Pokemon Oreos came out?
Mm-hmm.
They were artificially inflating. The internet was artificially inflating the rarity of the Mew cookies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. People were selling them for
Weird.
like hundreds online. And I actually had more than one, but I had one that was in really good shape, and I put it up on eBay just to see what and I really undercut. Not really undercut, but like they're selling for like $125, right? I put it up for like 50.
Yeah.
And I think, one, I was too late. Two, I don't have a good rating. But
oh, sure.
To the first topic of it was too late, is we ended up with more than one Mew in our bag of Oreos. And so the jig was up. People were using a rare Pokemon, a rare popular Pokemon, and they were artificially inflating it. They were just telling people that they were rare cookies, and they weren't.
Yeah.
It was like all the cookies were made the same. Every single Pokemon that went into the Oreo bag, there was thousands of them made, and they just got randomly packaged. It was just like,
right.
So it was bullshit. And that's like, I take that instance into cards and go, how do you decipher that? So you kind of told me.
Yeah, because they do that all over the place. People do it all over. And on this one too, I can go and it'll show me like the records of where the last sale was. Like this is talking about the PSA 10 because they got the different grading systems.
Mm-hmm.
And the PSA is definitely the most popular one right now. I think it's the most easily accessible.
Mm-hmm. But still reliable and like respected.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the PSA 10 sold for $61 on the 19th. And I think that's what somebody was able to find and purchase and feel good about. That's why they made that purchase.
Right.
When you see this and be like, oh, so I don't know how they get their records of when the stuff was sold, but like you have records of $61 of a PSA 10 being sold when it's out there for $400 some dollars. So you're like, okay, so that guy didn't sell that card, and that's why that card still exists.
Right.
Nobody's buying it that price. And they do have the deals too, so you can like negotiate. eBay does that a lot. Like if you put it into your cart, the person will just be like, they sent you an offer. And all of a sudden they took like a bunch of money on it.
Really?
Off of it, but it's still priced like $200 too high. But I've never put anything in the cart that's been that off. I've only done stuff where I'm like, oh, let me think about this for a little bit. But on this one, like if you're like, oh, I don't need it to be perfect, you can go and see what PSA 9 on the 19th, a PSA 9 sold for $30. So you can see even. Yeah, that's the big difference. Of
That's
like,
a 50% discount if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah, from a 9 to a 10. PSA 8 is $17.50.
Damn.
That's not that good at all. I don't know what mine is, but I have this exact card. So
sure.
I'm just like looking at it and stuff. So, fun little story. This is completely random. But my son, we're trying to find something to watch the other day. And we stumbled upon the original Space Jam. And I'm like,
yeah.
He goes, what's that? And I go, that's Space Jam. This is the original though. Have you ever seen it? And he goes, I don't think so. So I like go to it, like the preview or whatever. And he goes, oh yeah, I think I've seen that. Michael Jordan he like puts his body in a different guy, right? And I go, I don't know about that part, but I'm super impressed that you know that that's Michael Jordan. Like, how do you know that?
Right.
And he,
yeah, dude.
And I think they must have talked about it because I think he said that he saw it at Grandma and Grandpa's house. So I'm sure my dad said something to him about it.
Right.
And he goes, yeah, he's a real basketball player in real life. And I go, yeah, some people say that he's the greatest of all time. And he goes, I think he is. And I go, oh, you do? You think he is the greatest of all time? And then he goes, yeah, him and Anthony Squidward's.
Yes.
Yeah. So
perfect Minnesota kid response.
Yep.
Squidward's.
That one's sticking. I'm a Squidward's for 3. But yeah. Anyways, when we were talking about the shininess, in case y'all were wondering, there it is. Anthony Edwards rookie card.
I was just gonna say that's Squidward's himself. It's just
Squidward's
because my
himself.
screen's so small, it's hard for me to tell.
That's why you got to hold on to these different things because you never know. That's one of the things I was gonna say.
Oh yeah,
put your shit in sleeves, like if you're out there collecting,
right?
Because that's what I do. Because you never know what's gonna happen all the time. This was selling. Well, this one's still selling for more because this is the LaMelo Ball. Rookie card.
That's a fucking cool card.
They're from the same year. Yeah, dude. This is like the reactive one. So this is
it looks like it's got a bunch of fucking like cubes on their edges.
Yeah, it's like cubes and it's
so cool.
I don't know if I have another. I got a couple of different cool looking cards over here. I don't. Some of these I should almost like go and sell now.
Yeah.
But like here is this one says NBA debut, but this is what like the regular mosaic looks like.
Oh, okay.
And then you have the refractor. This is like the reactive refractor or whatever.
Uh-huh.
This blue, different looking, like was one where you're guaranteed to get those exclusively in a box. So when you were talking about the different places that you go and buy them,
Yeah.
if you see that shit in the store, if you're thinking about buying it, you should probably buy it because it's not going to be there for long. Because of what the industry has done with eBay and stuff, people will go and buy all those boxes and then do a slight markup on eBay, and they'll hold on to them for years. If they can't sell them right away in a couple of years, like the 2020, I knew how good that draft class was, and I was buying 2020 boxes like a motherfucker before everybody. I knew what was coming, and people didn't see it like at first. So I was able to buy all these boxes for cheaper than you should be able to, and now the boxes are starting to climb in value because of what everybody is seeing. Here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about with like sleeving your stuff. In 2020, they had LaMelo Ball, which he was like the rookie of the year, and he is good. He got hurt, but like he shoots and he passes the ball well and stuff. So he was a popular dude. And some of the other guys weren't necessarily like the greatest. But Jaden McDaniels, who's a great defender, who went, with Anthony Edwards into the later rounds of the playoffs. And then you got who's the other guy that I was just trying to think of?
This is another 2020
class
of 2020 draft for because I don't know what else to call him besides class of.
Yeah. You got the class of 2020. Tyrese Maxey. That's who I'm thinking of.
Okay.
I was trying to find, I know you got some of his cards in here, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. Tyrese Maxey. And this is what I'm talking about. Like just being like, sleeve them up. When you get rookie cards, keep them because you don't know what's going to happen.
Sure.
But in 2020, when these guys were not necessarily like selling too well and they weren't that good, and even this Tyrese Halliburton got traded from his team from the Kings to the Indiana Pacers. These two right here just won gold medals in the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
So you got Halliburton and Anthony Edwards.
Yep.
They're like the new young guns, the face of the team. Yeah. Halliburton was in the playoffs, made it late into the playoffs. Yep. Tyrese Maxey was in the playoffs, made it later into the playoffs. And there's another guy that I'm forgetting right now. But like these guys were in 2020 when people didn't know how good they were going to be.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, like, shit just starts clicking, and now they're like the faces of the NBA.
Right.
They're like
they're like the new class.
People coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just
get sleeves.
One tip. Yeah, get sleeves and keep them all because you're never going to know. And that's what I'm talking about. Like with some of this shit right here, you got, this is Derek Lively. I got this card. It was like a color match kind of because it's this purple where this purple is like the refractor or whatever you want to say. Okay. Like they're not that color normally. Oh. So that makes this card more expensive than the original like version of this. Okay. This Derek Lively, when he came out, I'm like, no fucking clue who that guy is, but it's a rookie card. We're going to put it in the sleeve. Yeah. So it's good condition. This thing looks like it's damn near perfect. This Derek Lively is a big reason why the Mavericks made it to the NBA Finals this year.
Really?
Yeah. So he's a rookie. I didn't know who he was. Right. And now he's like a star center in the league.
Yeah. Holy
shit. Oh, great. There you go. That's why you sleeve up your shit.
That's why you sleeve up your shit.
And that's like what I'm dealing with here is like this guy for the Packers, this Jaden Reed. I don't know if he's going to be good or not, but they talk about how he could be their best receiver. This is
Okay.
Aiden O'Connell, and he could potentially be the starting quarterback for the Raiders.
Okay.
Where this is from 2023. He didn't really play at all last year,
Sure.
and he could be the starter this year.
Yeah.
You never know,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. You don't know.
And there's some that I didn't sleeve. This right here, this is Sam Laporta. He's a tight end that nobody knew if he was going to be good or not. And I think he was like the best rookie tight end in the class last year. Like
even on the even playing for
killing
the Lions. Damn.
Dude, the Lions are good now. You know
Are they?
that?
They got back.
The Lions, they almost made it to the Super Bowl last year.
Holy fuck! Did they really?
They were a win away from
last year.
No, they were a win away from making it to the Super Bowl, and they were beating. Who the fuck is the NFC? Who went to the Super Bowl last year for the NFC? The San Francisco 49ers. They were beating the 49ers at halftime by quite a bit. The 49ers came back and won. But
damn.
It looked like the Lions were going to go to the Super Bowl.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
Yep. But yeah, dude, just like if I got a rookie card, I sleeve it up. Sometimes they end up being nobodies that I can go through here and just be like, all right, this guy's nobody at all.
Right. When you're grabbing a box, what does a box cost? Do you get like a discount for grabbing the whole box? And like they scan the barcode at Target and it comes up as a different item number than when you buy a single pack? Or
no, so the single packs a lot of times like they barely do that anymore. They're only open like a couple of different boxes, and you can only buy like a single pack of a couple of different ones, or they'll have what they call like hanger packs. Where there'll be like a little bag that's on like the hanger, and those ones have a little bit more. But what you're really going for is the different things that you have the ability of hitting. Like that LaMelo Ball, that rookie card, the regular LaMelo Ball rookie card graded, I think was the same as like Edwards, where you're looking at like PSA 10 is like $60 or whatever. That blue, because of that refractor being exclusively to just the mega box, which the mega box was like $50 or whatever, but you get like 12 packs or some shit. But like there's one of those cards in each one. So hitting that gives you an opportunity at something way bigger. And that card PSA 10 is worth like a couple $100 before he got hurt, I think.
Damn.
Yeah. But you also get where you start getting chances at like, this is the mosaic. That one's a Scripps. Like that's an autograph.
Oh, sick. I can see it. Yeah. On the bottom, they have like a piece of, it's not a piece of tape, but like you can't write on the card material. So it has a different material on it for the autograph.
Yeah. So that's a rookie script. And that's Lamar Stevens. That's one, like, I don't really know who he is, but it's an autographed rookie card. So sleeve it, you know?
So sleeve it.
But when you're talking about like, here's a mega box that I had from Optic, which that I don't have the Optic. I was trying to hit some of the rookie cards and stuff, but like, here's what an Optic regular card looks like, where it's just like white around the edges and silver in the background.
Okay.
This is like the purple wave.
Oh yeah.
That
reflection is like, looks like a fucking sound wave in the background. That's sick.
Yeah. Whatever that's called, I forget, but it makes it worth so much more money if you can hit a card like that. Because when we were talking about the rarity and stuff, when you're buying the boxes, you're getting like, I forget, like 5 or 6 cards in each pack. So when you're opening these and you're looking at these, you have a way higher opportunity to hit a rookie in a card like that. But there's like one of these per pack, and they're not rookies all the time. So to hit a rookie in that, like, makes the value that much more possible.
Possible. Yeah. I was
Like,
going to say not right away, right?
Yeah.
Because you never kind of know with a rookie, but
right. Yeah.
I get it.
And it's the same stuff with all these. And like, you just get random shit that could be in any of them. You could hit random different colors and random different variations and stuff. And then when you get into numbered and stuff, it gets wild. There was one card in one of the boxes of optics that I hit that was like this black and white checker pattern that was like ultra rare is what they claimed that it was. And it was a rookie card of a guy that was nobody, is nobody. It's still worth like $30, even though he's a nobody, because of the card being so rare.
Oh, damn.
But if that would have been Anthony Edwards, like, I haven't looked at the price now because LaMelo Ball was the most like sought after in that rookie class when I started opening these packs before last season, you know. I started buying these in the off season before we went deep into the playoffs, you know.
Right.
But that LaMelo card was selling for like $400 or $4,000.
What the fuck?
Yeah. That one's like a legitimate, like, that's how rare that card was.
Yeah. Like, check the internet. So, there's 3 on the entire internet right now.
Yeah, some of
there's more than that in existence, but everybody's holding on to them because they just like the card. They want the card. They just are keeping it. There's 3 to purchase.
That's the other thing that I'll say too. Like, if you can keep an eye out and you can watch for good prices and stuff, like this Anthony Edwards card, PSA 10, that one person paid whatever it was, $61 or whatever.
Yep.
And they got the already graded this card in hand. Now the fun is you're being able to pull other stuff you don't know. And like I said, in my hunt for this card, I ended up getting all the Halliburtons and the Tyrese Maxeys and all these other good players. So I do have a lot of dope cards that came with it. But if you're just trying to hit this card, I don't know how many. I pulled 2 Anthony Edwards rookie cards, and this is the only one that's like a true, just straight up rookie card. The other one is like a American. It's like the Mosaic, but it's like an American insert deal. So it's not quite the same rookie card. Like, it doesn't say rookie on the front of it. It just is a rookie card, but it's
because it's the first year he was in the league.
Yeah. So it's something about like this rookie or whatever. It's a little bit different card. And I was like, that's cool, but that's not what I was really shooting for. I forgot what the fuck I was going with this. Because I was talking about like the different cards that I was all buying. So I was buying like a decent amount of boxes, and I spent well more than what I would have if I just would have bought that card.
Right.
So obviously, every time you just keep buying these cards, you're getting an opportunity at different and better cards and cool shit.
Yeah.
But if you want just that card, you might be better off just buying that card.
Right.
Odds of you hitting it, I thought for sure I'd get an Anthony Edwards rookie card like almost every box I hit. And I bought like 5 boxes and still didn't get quite the one I was looking for. I'm like, what the fuck? This is nuts.
Right. Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, man.
I'll tell
go ahead. You got more?
Well, I was going to say, let me hit you with this.
Yeah.
When I'm talking about sleeve your cards, I had shit that I didn't sleeve. And I got like Hideo Nomo.
Hell
rookie.
yeah.
So that's a rookie, a little bit beat up. This card, Frank Thomas rookie, would be worth a shit ton if it was in better condition. But it's kind of beat up. So that's a Frank Thomas rookie card. I got 2 different.
Frank was my guy. That's who I was always trying to collect. I don't know what I have anymore. I should look.
Yeah, this is in 1990, so that's the same year as Bill Dance. So that's how
Frank
that's how
Thomas,
much
Bill
better.
Dance, elite
Yeah,
athletes.
but like this one was clean. I got some of these that are clean. Like that's a Ray Allen rookie card.
Nice.
But like some of this shit, check these two out. These ones are clean. These ones I did have sleeved up. That's a Rob Gronkowski rookie card.
Whoa.
So the Gronk. And
Yeah.
then some of them back in the day did not have, it didn't say rookie. That's a Kobe rookie card.
What?
Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude.
So that one I should have sold after the helicopter crash. I guess his shit went crazy.
Oh, of course it did.
Here's another one. I forgot to say this too. Remember talking about sleeve your card and stuff?
Yeah.
This one I was kind of hankering for getting some sports cards, like the football cards before like the real good football season came out. So these are like the Chronicles draft picks.
Okay.
And this one here is CJ Stroud in his Ohio State uniform. Like this is Ohio State before that came out.
But it's an NFL card.
Yeah, well, it's the Panini. Yeah, it's the NFL.
Yeah,
for sure. It's all the guys that are gonna be coming out and stuff.
Yeah.
And I got this card. Like this was an insert. This green scope that's in the background.
Oh, okay.
The cards don't look like that. They look like, oops, shit. Just smacking stuff.
Yeah, you barely bumped it.
They got some really cool shit, man. I keep like once I find how we were talking about like the different cards and stuff.
Yeah.
Once I find them, I keep trying to pull other cards because I want different players in these.
Yeah.
Look how cool this fucking thing looks.
Whoa, dude, that thing's wild.
Yeah.
Fucking
but it's
lightning bolts coming out of the player.
Yeah. That's a rookie card of Trey Tucker. He's a receiver.
Oh, yeah. Trey Tucker.
It's sleeved up.
I know who that is.
We'll see if he's good. I have no idea who that is. But so see, this is a Jahmyr Gibbs too. Same pack that I got it in. He's a good running back, but see how there's like none of that cool.
Yeah. It doesn't have those like
background.
holographic circles and shit on the back.
Yeah. So this one's a holographic circle. I'm like, damn, dude, that's cool looking.
Yeah.
The CJ Stroud, he's one of the better quarterbacks coming out this year.
Yep.
Hopefully he does good. Killed it, and he's like one of the most sought after rookie cards. Like they're going nuts for this kid. And I have like a special insert rookie card of his.
Sick, dude.
Yeah, and it's like I had no idea. Like I knew he was one of the top prospects.
Yep.
I didn't watch him in college. I had no idea how good he was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, nice, dude. I got one of the quarterbacks. Hell yeah. Cool. Mm-hmm. And then put it in a sleeve and then left it there. And then was like looking back through and I go, oh shit. I forgot I had him. That's dope.
Yeah. You're like, fuck yeah. I don't even watch that much football and I know who that is. So, I mean, that says a lot about it.
Yeah. So my big advice when you're out there buying stuff is that if you see something and you think you want to buy it, just go ahead and try to get it. And you can get the shit online. Like if Target has it and you see it in the store, it comes out. A lot of times they have it online. You can buy it and just have it shipped to your house or shipped to Target to pick up. You can do the same shit at Walmart. And if those go, it's because somebody bought them and you can go find them on eBay. For sure they're on eBay. But that's another thing too. Just keep an eye out for the different prices and stuff because they can get crazy priced.
Yeah.
Like, and always look at what the boxes say. Be very mindful of exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
Because there are different sizes out there. There's different, like there's your small little box. I don't do any of the hobby boxes because I don't have that kind of money to toss around with fishing as my hobby. Like if sports cards was your hobby, then great, you got that. But I have fishing gear and video games to buy, so I don't go and buy like the super expensive box because the hobby boxes are definitely where it's at. Like if you're trying to get some really rare shit,
okay,
that's where you're getting.
That's where they really
cards and your
stack them up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's where, but you're paying for them, dude.
Yeah.
They get expensive.
Even
There's
retail.
So much more, there's so much.
Like
more
I'm not talking
expensive
about
than
going
they
to
used
eBay
be.
and picking up a box that somebody's been, holding on to for 6 weeks or something.
Retail hobby boxes you're only going to get at like sports card shops now.
Oh, okay.
And those guys basically call their price too.
Really?
Because they know what everybody's paying for them, or
Right.
what they're going to get turned around and sold for on eBay.
Right. So they
they're
just try to get that
selling them.
eBay price right away because
Yeah,
fucking.
they can. Yeah, like I delivered to one of the guys,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, I've heard him say like, "Ooh, I don't really care for any of these cards, but we can sell it for this." Like he was like, we'll put this price tag on it. Like they were basically just talking about like what we'll put the price at, not like what we should put the price at.
Yeah.
What we're gonna put the price
will at. Because yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's gnarly shit that's out there. But the thing I was saying with like when you're looking at it, not all the boxes are the same. Some of them are a little bit like this one has, like 5 packs. This one has 6 packs, or one of them is a little bit more money. And you go, oh, that guy's trying to charge too much. Like, no, sometimes for whatever reason, they'll have like this box is, there's like the blaster box or the hanger box or whatever. And for whatever reason, some of them are like slight hobby versions of the stuff. And if you look at the box, it'll say like, on average, 1 memorabilia card in this box. So on most of the time you're looking at getting like a game worn jersey or an autograph card in that box. So that's why that box is more expensive, because you have a chance at hitting something that could be worth a lot more,
right,
if you get the right player.
Yeah.
So it's just all that kind of shit where you got to look at it. And they all say, they're different specialties too, like what they get. Like these pink cards were in the hanger boxes, in the hanger packs of the mosaics when they came out. Those were like the exclusive to the hanger packs. Like those pink cards were only coming in those like 30 card packs.
Yeah
For like $15 a pack.
Right.
So it's that kind of shit where you just gotta keep an eye out for that.
You gotta you kind of gotta read the fine print almost on when getting a box.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Because it's like you can get cards from anywhere, but some of them are a little bit more, and there can be exclusives to where you get them from too. Like it's Prism. Prism football. If you get the ones from Target, their exclusive is like a disco where it's kind of like circles like this. Their exclusive inserts on that blaster box are disco cards.
Yep.
And if you get them from Walmart, they're lasers.
Oh,
it's like a bunch of lines and shit.
Right.
So like
right.
If you want one card versus the other, you got to go, that's what you got to do.
Right.
Like,
that's crazy.
I also buy a lot of cards for my nephew. Like he's into football cards. So I like opening them and I like, purchasing them, like all that part. That's all fun for me. So like when it's his like birthday or Christmas, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get him cards. We're gonna open them up. Yeah. So like I've found those exclusive ones, and I've always been like trying to drop hints and stuff. I'm like, damn, those are cool looking cards, huh? And I was like, I kind of like those laser ones more than that disco, but it's everybody's opinions. What do you like? You like those disco ones? You'd be like, no, I think the laser ones are cool too. All right, noted. About to buy the laser box.
Okay.
That kind of shit.
Yeah.
So I slip it in there. But this last Christmas, it wasn't anything special, but there, like as far as the year goes or whatever.
Okay.
But there are certain players that it doesn't really matter what year you hit. Their cards are still going to be worth more money if they are the insert. And he got one of those orange laser Patrick Mahomes.
Oh.
And that
Damn,
was
dude.
like a fucking Yeah. So it's those kind of moments.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing. Just keep them like if you can try to figure out what they're into and what they like,
Right.
hook them up with that set.
Right.
Because the moment that they hit that insert, even if they're not always worth a lot of money,
Yeah.
that moment of when they pull it,
Yeah.
to
The
when
excitement.
they freak the fuck out. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, there's nothing better than just be
Yeah.
like, yes,
Yeah.
we're all happy.
We're all happy right now. Adrenaline rush fun. Yeah,
Hell
dude.
yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if you had other stuff. I just kind of went off.
No,
for
that's
a
what I
while.
wanted. That's what I wanted. That was so good. I live adjacent to the card hype now, and I'm just like, I wanted to be brought
Yeah.
into that world for an hour. So
Oh, sure. Yeah.
that's awesome, dude. Yeah. No, that's so sick.
The other thing I should say too, if you're interested in getting these cards and stuff, like when I'm saying if you see them, get them, maybe even be kind of aware of when they come out too. Because like I said, they don't last long on the shelves and they drop at different times.
Right.
You know, you got some of the stuff that started coming out before the season ever started.
Yeah.
You got some that come out like half of the season later.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, I forget which ones just came out, but there's a set that just came out like a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all the same year, but it's like they kind of just scatter them.
Interesting.
I think it might be the Contenders line where, yeah, they're all made by the same people.
Sure. Yeah.
Literally every one of these is made by Panini.
Right.
This is Pinnacle Chronicles Panini. This is Select Panini. Mosaic is made by Panini. Donruss Panini. It doesn't matter. It's all Panini.
Right. They just drop it in. They have like these waves that they're going in. That they go in.
Oh shit! Don't stop.
Oh shit! Don't drop.
Yeah.
Don't fucking spill in the cards.
Yeah, yeah. So if you see any of those out there, you know, like the cool stuff that's a little bit more expensive, but the cards are cooler and they hold their value better, is like, you know, Mosaic and Prism and Select.
Right.
Those cards go fast as shit.
Mm-hmm.
They'll hit the shelves and then they're gone almost immediately.
Right.
Like the one thing I'll say too is I used to be like alone in the sports cards aisles. Like I wouldn't even always buy them. I'd just walk through and I'd look at them and it'd just be me.
Yeah.
And now I'm always like standing there looking at them with somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm almost never alone.
Right.
Which is something that didn't happen like 5 years ago.
Right.
And
right.
prior. It's weird.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, every dude that's walking through the store just has to come over and look real quick. What's going on over here? And if they see
the good stuff,
one of the good packs, that thing is gone.
They're getting it.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
All right, man. That was awesome. Like I said, I just wanted to live in that world for a little bit because I live adjacent to it in the sense of like, I remember doing that, but like, it's so much have changed in the last 4 years. I feel like it's been insane. So that was cool. You know, like, subscribe, do all that shit, whatever. You know how it goes. You've heard a podcast before.
Yeah.
That's it. Call it a wrap. Except you gotta show me you know what? I want to talk about pawn shops. We're gonna let the processing happen and I'm gonna talk to you about pawn shops. So